Hello, everyone, and welcome to Evolve Yourself TV. I am Agni James, and tonight we are going to have an excellent guided meditation. We're going to do philosophy. We're going to do chess. As always, I'm a chess instructor in real life. For those of you who don't know, it's my favorite game. I love it, and we're also going to do some chakra balancing. How are your chakras doing? Are your chakras in balance? Are you feeling like you have a good energy flow going, or is everything all blocked up? You know, what's going on with your chakras? Do you check in on your chakras often? And then we're going to read from one of the best books ever written, the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu's masterpiece, 81 verses. And then we are going to go into Grimm's fairy tales. This is another really good book. It's not on the level of the Tao Te Ching, but it's up there. Let me tell you about that. We read the first story last night, and we're going to read another story tonight. So we got a lot planned tonight. What's going on? Hey, Ignorant, how's it going, man? What's up with you? How's everything in your world? Herbert Smithens, homie's trying to find balance in tree bowls and ice cream bowls, like yin and yang. Ooh. I like it, man. I like it. You come in and you're all poetic tonight. It's perfect. Hey, P. Barrow. Good to see you. How's it going? I hope you had a good birthday the other day. You know, it was good to be able to hang out. What's going on? How you been? We're gonna do some guided meditation. You know, that's the primary focus of this stream. But I've been incorporating a lot of other things into it. I've been bringing a lot of other things into these streams. Excuse me, including a cough. I'm bringing a cough into the stream. No, I'm not, but I did get water in my throat there. So we're going to be doing Grimm's fairy tales. That's what I wanted to say. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Things are going okay. All right, nice. All right, yeah. Today was kind of interesting for me. I finished up a chess class, and that was kind of cool. I was able to successfully complete this 1 week chess camp that I've been teaching, and all the students had a good time. It was fun, and it's amazing how much better at chess they are in 1 week. It's amazing. You spend a week with me, I guarantee you are going to become a much better chess player. It's pretty awesome. P. Barrow, you say, you were Bonnie's today. Okay, nice, good. It's so good that you spend so much time with her, helping her out. Like that's awesome. That's awesome. Tell her I said hi next time you see her. It was so good being able to see her and catch up with her and Al and Ricky. That was awesome. That was the first time in 2.5 years that I've seen them. It's always sad when a family member is isolated for some reason or another, whether it's COVID or some other reason, right? Or if you move away, you can't see that family member very often. It's always rough. Rocco Hemda's here. Good to see you, man. What's new, man? What's going on with you? How's life with you, dude? I had the pleasure of speaking with Rocco Hemda earlier today. He's my friend since I was 5 years old. I've known this guy a long time, and he's stuck with me. He's a good friend. What's going on? Nothing since the last time we talked. Yeah, we talked a couple hours ago, so I'm assuming that like not too much has gone on. But there was that one time where you're like, hey, come on over. I want to show you my 6 chickens, and then an hour later I was at your house, and one of your chickens was dead. So maybe some stuff was going on, right? Rokohem, do you say not by choice? You have all the blackmail. Maybe. I mean that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Herbert Smithens, you say you primarily use the stream to test out your stand-up material. Yeah, this is good, right? If I'm gonna laugh, it's gonna be funny, right? I don't laugh at garbage. I am one of the funniest human beings on the planet. Like, I've talked with everyone in the world who knows anything about comedy, and they all say that I have the best sense of humor that they've ever heard in their lives. All right, they cannot stop laughing when I start telling jokes. So let me tell you, if all the funniest people that have ever existed think that I have the best sense of humor in the universe, then maybe I do, right? Maybe I do. All right, let's continue. You say, I am not funny. I am so funny. Like, I am so funny that I can barely control myself from laughing right now, right? I'm ready to burst out laughing. If I am cracking myself up, that's a sign of someone who's really funny. Tell a funny joke. I'm telling a funny joke right now, man. This is genius. This is A+ material. This whole sketch, it's pretty beautiful, right? I'm waiting for some sketch comedy show to call me up and be like, Agni James, listen up, Agni James. Are you ready? Are you ready for your Hollywood entrance? And I'm going to be like, well, I don't know. What can you give me? And they're going to be like, all right, we're going to give you all the money in the world. We're going to give you all the women in the world. We're going to give you all, fame, fortune. We're going to give you all that. And I'm going to be like, I don't know, maybe, let me think about it. I don't know. It still doesn't sound good enough. And then I'll maybe call them back like a week later and decline the offer because I'm too good for Hollywood. Fuck Hollywood. Big fuck you to Hollywood. This is Twitch, right? In Twitch, we bypass all that Hollywood propaganda, all that nonsense. We don't need that shit. Twitch, this is live. This is real. This is truth. Fuck reality television. This is reality. This is reality television. Anyways, are you ready to meditate? Should we hop right in and do some meditation? That is the primary focus of the stream. I don't know. There's some key people missing though. I kind of want to wait around till some of the key core crew comes in here. Oh, hey, Danny John is here. Speaking of the key core crew, Danny John, what is new, Danny John? What is going on with you? How are you feeling? Any better since we talked last? When we're under the weather a little bit, it sucks, right? It sucks having a cold or being sick in some way or another, right? I hope you're feeling better. You're popping in a little. All right, good. We're gonna do a meditation. But let's do a puzzle rush first. I want to get a puzzle rush in. I want to get something to increase the energy and increase the excitement, and then we'll just go into complete like peace, zen, loving kindness mode, right? This is a 3-minute puzzle rush. So Herbert Smithens, you say JT had to use a lot of her chi yesterday, casting a cleansing spell on me with sage, a component in spell. Ooh, is this true, Herbert Smithens? Is this the case? Is this the case, JT? Where is JT? How come JT is not been around? Speaking of JT, what's the deal? JT always comes around, or usually comes around. Like where? Why is she hiding right now? She's gonna give me some excuse about having to wash the dogs or do dishes or something, right? You're casting spells. I'm always around the witches. The witches love me for some reason. Why do all the witches always want to be around me? And my new favorite band is literally called All Them Witches. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm like a target for witches. I mean, we're usually cool, but I always feel like if you're around too many witches, it's like weird things can happen. Oh, she's recharging her chi. Yeah, we gotta. I hope you didn't waste a lot of her chi though, casting that cleansing spell on me. I mean, I felt good. I felt really good after that meditation. I don't know if it was I'd like to think it was the meditation, but maybe you're doing some spells here. Herbert, you say you're witch, but you haven't practiced in a long time. All right, yeah. From what I understand, you gotta stay up to practice, right? In order to get really, really honed in on that, you gotta keep continuously practice and continuously improve your craft. It's like anything. It's like chess, right? The more you play in chess, the better you'll become at anything. JT, you say chi never wastes on me. Awesome. Yeah, cool. All right. It's happening, everyone. Terror time has entered the room. The emote queen is bursting in with tons of love and light and energy. And look at this. She's sharing her love with the world. How is it going, Terry? How is life with you? How's everything? I haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been? How come you haven't been streaming? Where are you hiding? Why are you hiding from me, Terry? Terra Time is a phenomenal streamer here on Twitch in the fitness and health community. She's an excellent personal trainer, and I always say this about her, she makes working out fun. I mean, you could be in a pissed off mood, you could have just gotten fired from work, everything in your life could be crumbling. You go to her stream, you're going to start smiling, you're going to start having a good time, you're going to feel alive, you're going to feel refreshed, you're going to feel recharged, you're going to get a good workout in, and then you'll probably see Terra Time eating chocolate, because that's what she likes to do. She likes to kick her ass working out, so she'll work out super hard, and then she's like, fuck it, I'm just going to eat 12 candy bars, and then I'll work out for 6 hours tomorrow. And it's perfect. It's like the most amazing thing. I love it. And she's in perfect shape, because she works out so much, because she takes care of her body. She cares about her body. So check her out, drop her a follow. You're having a rest at the farm. You're having a rest. Are the animals with you? Are the dogs with you? Are the cats with you? Or is it just you? What's the current situation? Yeah, there's that chocolate. There's that chocolate. Terra Time knows about chocolate. She does not. Now, there are some things that Terra Time will joke around about, but she will not mess around when it comes to chocolate. She knows her chocolate. Yeah, this is getting serious. This is getting serious, Terry. The best emote game in town. The Terra Time. The Terra Time. JT, how come you never try to compete? You never try to compete with Terry for emote game queen. Oh, Tara, all the animals are with you. Nice. You're hanging with all the animals. Cool. That's good. You got some good company with you. I like that. Well, I hope you're having a good time with the animals. I hope you're getting a nice rest. I hope you're getting some peace and relaxation. The farm's a great place. It's so amazing that you have a farm you can go to and just be isolated and away from everyone and just free of all that craziness in the world, right? And you just go there and you recharge your batteries, you recoup, you recover, and you feel that love and that connection with nature. You're not in a bustling city that's like polluted. You're just breathing in that fresh air and it just feels so good, and you're able to do that. JT, you say no one can compete with Terry ever. Yeah, I know. I've never seen anyone be able to out emote her. She's definitely the emote queen, but you never know. An emote king could pop up one day who could rival Terra Time. I'm waiting for that day. I feel it's going to happen at some point, but we just don't know when, right? It is the inevitable. It's the inevitable. Someone's going to have to come to try to match Terra Time in the emote game. Terra Time, you say it's raining right now. Yeah, rain can be cool though, right? I was actually talking to my father about this the other day. I love just laying in bed when it's pouring, and just hearing that sound of that rain, just pouring down on the roof above me. That's a cool sound, right? It's always intense when that's going on. Oh, we got the clown. Yeah, we got the clown going. All right. You say it's very cold but close to the fireplace. You're just huddled up around the fireplace. You got the animals with you. You got the dogs. You got the cats. You got all the animals chilling with you right by the fireplace. You're just enjoying it. You're maybe eating some chocolate, taking a sip of wine. Right. Terry's having a good time right now. She's definitely. JT, you say I have 4 mods in chat. Day off again for me. I have 4 mods in chat. All right, well, that happens sometimes. It's rare. It's definitely a rarity. But you know what? It's a good feeling. I feel well protected. I feel like the mods are gonna protect me. If someone comes in and tries to bully me, you guys got my back, right? Okay, let's do some chess, right? Because that's why we're here at the end of the day. Oh, we got that. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta mix up some stuff. We get that. No, we're gonna have to do this. Don't want that. We got to do this. Go back here. Yeah, I always get to fight a little bit with OBS. I always get to fight a little bit with it before I get everything working right. All right, there we go. We'll have it right here. Okay, cool. And we are good. We're in good shape now. All right, those of you who don't know, I am a chess instructor, IRL. That's what I do for a living. So I like to come on Twitch, and in addition to guided meditations, I do chess lessons, and I play chess games and teach chess. And right now I'm going to do a puzzle rush. So we got to see how many puzzles I can solve in 3 minutes. I have 3 minutes to solve as many puzzles as I can. My top score ever is 28. So I got to try to beat 28, all right? And this is tough. So let's see how it goes. All right. Okay. Let's do this. Oh, it's black to move. Oh, what am I doing? Come on there. Come on. That was not a good start. All right. There we go. Looking good so far. Check and mate. Mate in 1. I'll take it. Mate in 1. Mate in 2. Let's throw this check in. Check. Mate. Beautiful. What am I missing here? Oh, that's sneaky. That was a sneaky one. I will say that. They were trying to be a little sneaky. I'll sack a queen. I'll sack a queen for mate. Why not? Right? I'll do it again. I'm just going to keep sacking queens for mate. Here, do I got to do it again? No, not like that. Oh, like this? All right, that's cool. Like that. Oh, no, 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 no. That was not, yeah, that didn't work out. All right, whatever. That's frustrating. All right, let's see if I can regain composure and actually do this. Yeah, there we go. Now I'll sack the queen for mate. It's tough to regain composure after a loss. Like, it's always, so this has to come in first, and then this check, and then we got mate. All right, cool. We got this, and then we have this. And then this. Beautiful. This and that and then this. It's like the perfect commentary. I guess this, right? Let's see, where are we at now? We got to throw this check in. And now I believe, oh, it's like this? Oh, no, 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 no. All right. All right. Come on here. Okay. Oh, this is kind of pretty, I think. Wait. Yep. And then check. I'll win the rook at the end of this. Okay. Oh, this is a sneaky one. Look at that. That was really tough. I can't believe they even had that one on there. All right. So, oh, I just take. And then now this is, yeah, this is really challenging. I don't know. And time is a problem here. This, oh, all right, well, whatever. I only had 9 seconds. 22. 22 is a great score. I will take that. I'll take that. 22 is a legit score. I'm definitely okay with getting a 22 there. All right, so yeah, I always come out and I'm bursting with energy, and we always raise the intensity, right? And then we slow things down and go inward to the place of love and kindness in our hearts. Find a comfortable seated position. You can sit on the floor in lotus pose. You can sit cross-legged. Or you can sit in a chair. The main thing is to find a seated position that is comfortable for you. And then gently close your eyes and take a few slow, deep breaths on your own. Inhale through your nose, gently raising your belly. Exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in through your nose, slowly raising your abdomen. Breathe out through your mouth, slowly lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath. Inhale, raising your belly. Exhale, lowering your belly. Breathe in, raising your abdomen. Breathe out, lowering your abdomen. Keep your awareness on your breath count. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that does not serve you well. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all that is of no benefit. Your breath calms your body, and your body calms your mind. Be mindful of your breath count. Visualize yourself sitting on the tallest mountaintop. Watching the clouds float through the sky beneath you. Two clouds move together and merge into one. And one cloud stretches apart, dividing into two. These clouds move through the sky and eventually disappear over the horizon. These clouds are like your thoughts. Thoughts come into being, exist for a while in conscious awareness, before disappearing from your mind. That is the transitory nature of human thought. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that does not serve you well. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all that is of no benefit to you. Focus on your breath. When thoughts arise in your mind, picture them as clouds floating through the sky and eventually disappearing over the horizon. And return your awareness to your breath count. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that does not serve you well. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all that is of no benefit to you. Keep your awareness on your breath count. Your essence is love. Your love is manifested as light. Your purpose is to shine your light on others. Awakening the inner light within them. And they will shine their light on all whom they encounter. Until all of humanity is glowing radiantly as one once again. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit to you. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego which obscures your third eye sight. Keep your focus on your breath count. When thoughts arise in your mind, picture them as clouds floating through the sky before disappearing over the horizon. Keeping your mind pristine and clear, focusing on your breath count. Empty your mind. Observe any thoughts that arise. Do not judge them, for they are each of equal weight. Do not apply value judgments to them, for they have no intrinsic value. Keep your attention directed on your breath. Become one with your breath. Slow down your breathing. Slow down your breath. Quiet your mind. reside in stillness. On your next breath, travel down beneath the level of conscious awareness. Go to the region of your heart chakra. Feel the love emanating from this location. And the perfect peace surrounding this love. Give yourself permission to experience the joy which resides here. And the warmth which accompanies it. In this place, at your core, is an orb of glowing light. In this place, you are one with that light. Stay here in this holy moment. Keeping your focus on your breath count. Starting from the top of your head, scan your body going downward, looking for any areas of tightness or tension. When you find a given area where you may be storing stress, breathe into it, and as you exhale, release it, for it is not worthy of you. When thoughts arise in your mind, picture them as clouds floating through the sky and eventually disappearing from your mind. Your mind is the sky, and those thoughts are your clouds. Clear them from your consciousness and return to your breath. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego which obscures your third eye vision. Keep your attention on your breath count. On your next breath, travel down beneath the level of conscious awareness. Go to the center point of your being. The place at your center from which you originate. The place within you that is forever holy. Feel the endless love flowing from this location. And the warmth which surrounds it. Here in this place, you are one with the divine. Keep your focus on this center point. Stay here for a moment, focusing on your center. And when you're ready, travel through. I'll see you on the other side. Here, at your center point, you remember your true identity. At your center, you recall how you came to be. Here, at your center point, you remember your divine purpose. To spread love and light to all those whom you encounter. At your center point, only love remains. And being love, you exist here eternally. And all pain and sorrow gets washed away into nothingness. From nothingness it came, and to nothingness will it return. Inhale, traveling deeper into this love. Exhale, releasing all resistance to this peace. Breathe in, going deeper still into this place of oneness. Exhale, releasing all fear and apprehension from your mind. In this place, you are one with the source of all creation. In this holy moment, you reconnect with the divine. For in this place, forgiveness is extended to everyone and everywhere. And by forgiving yourself, you forgive all of creation. here in this moment, you accept your divine inheritance. For you are pure love and can never be anything else. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit to you. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego which would hinder your evolution. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all stress and tension from your body. Breathe in. Breathe out, reclaiming your power. Gently open your eyes, returning to the present moment. Feeling peace and love with you for the remainder of your day. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing the sacred space with me. I am honored and humbled to be here with you as your meditation guide. It warms my heart to know that you came here to do the work of meditation so that you may be more peaceful and calm in your life. I love you all unconditionally, for you are as me, as I am, and I am as you are. Namaste. I needed that. How was that for everyone? I hope you all had a good meditation. Let's see. JT Farms. Yeah. Namaste. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. My channel shaman. It's always a good thing when your channel shaman enjoys the energy work you do. Danny John, you stuck around. Well, thank you, Danny John. Thank you for sticking around. Much appreciated. I hope you benefited from this. I hope you got something out of this. Thank you for coming by, hanging out. And Chad Guy's here. Chad Guy, man. You pop in, man. You're fashionably late these days. You like to come in fashionably late. I love it, man. How you doing, friend? It's good. It's good to see you, man. And Noger's here. Noger, what is up, buddy? What is up, man? Dude, Noger is awesome. I was actually hanging out in his stream tonight. He had Minesweeper up and running such that you could actually play it with the chat. The chat plays with you. It was pretty neat. I've never done that before. It was a lot of fun. So, but traditionally Noger is a philosophy streamer. He has read over, what are we at now? Like around 310-ish, 310 philosophy papers, and I'm talking academic philosophy journals, pretty reputable journals, right? He's been reading these great articles, and he's been reading them to the Twitch audience. It's something that's so amazing. He's bringing this these two different worlds, these two very disparate worlds. Twitch, you generally have like the gaming world, right? And it tends to be less academic and less intellectual, and then here you have the philosophers in their ivory tower, right? And then you got Noger right here saying, hey, I'm gonna bring these two things together, these two seemingly incompatible things together. I'm gonna bring philosophy to Twitch, and it's been a cool experience. It's been a cool ride, and you've made a difference. You've influenced some people, so that's cool, man. So awesome. Definitely check out Noger. Drop him a follow. All right. What's going on? Chad guy's talking about TikTok over here. No, there's no Agni James TikTok. Let me tell you, I stay away from TikTok. Let's call me old fashioned, but I stay away from the old TikTok. Hey, P Barrow, excellent. You needed it too. Oh, I'm glad you stuck around for it. I'm glad you were able to derive some benefit from it. Thank you, P Barrow, for the feedback. Much appreciated. I hope you're doing well, and I love you, and I hope everything works out really well for you, and you're very happy. Let's see. Noger, you say thanks for stopping by the Minesweeper earlier. You made that client. Cool. Yeah. Cool. That was fun. That was a fun thing. It was a fun move. That was a fun move to do. To try that out, right? And you had people playing. I mean, it would have been weird that's the only thing. If no one's in there, then it's going to be weird, right? Like if I started a stream and I'm like, hey, everyone, let's play, and then like it's just me, it's like, eh. But you had a crew in there, you had a bunch of people playing, so that definitely makes it interesting, right? Let's see, Noger, you said 309, so I was close. I said around, I think 310ish, right? 309. That's a lot. You brought 309 philosophy papers to Twitch. That's wild, man. That is wild. And these aren't, a lot of these are dry. So I love it. I love that you're combining these two worlds. That's kind of like something I like to do. I like to bring seemingly incompatible opposites together. And like as far as content goes, like I do guided meditation, and then I do Doom Eternal, right? It's like two things that are pretty far, from across the spectrum. We've been reading from the Tao Te Ching, right? And then I play chess, which is a war game, right? So, those things are pretty different, right? I do Wordle, Spider Solitaire, and then we cleanse our chakras, And then I also do philosophy because I love philosophy, and that's what I went to grad school for. So, it's cool, man. It's cool what you do. I like when someone does something different, and you're definitely making that. You're doing that on Twitch. Let's see. Herbert Smithens, hey, how's it going? You say, Agni, what does it mean to not believe in dualism? What does it mean to be at one with everything? So you have dualism, which means the two-ness, right? And then you have monism, which is oneness, right? And so, okay, to be at one with everything, like, are you talking about my metaphysics, like what I believe? I mean, first of all, dualism has a ton of different definitions, a ton of different ways to look at it, right? We could be talking about Cartesian dualism, which is Descartes' dualism. We could be talking about the new dualism, which is like Hasker and Lowe, which with all their emergent properties and things of that nature, which is essentially dualism, but it tries to bring it up to speed to current time to make it a little more tenable of a position. When I refer to dualism, like in the meditations, I think that's what you're talking about. I'm talking about the external world, like the phenomenal world where you have opposites, right? You have hot and cold, up and down, right? You have boundaries, you have separations between disparate things, right? Like if I'm holding a book here and a glass here, you're going to say, oh, those are two separate objects, right? Those are two separate things that you're holding, right? Now, depending on what type of monism you might adhere to, you might say, no, this right here is actually one, including my body, including the wall. We're all just part of the same thing. We're all just oneness, right? There are not natural distinctions between objects, and that's kind of like being an anti-realist of material objects, all right? The anti-realist of like the material world, right? If you hold that you can hold that view, that's fine. But I guess when I'm doing my meditations, so I'm keeping it simple, right? I'm not talking about a specific thing. I'm talking about basically the broadest strokes, right? So, we have monism, which is oneness, which is pure love within our hearts, spread out everywhere to all of creation, right? And then whenever you have anything that is divisive or that implies separation, right? Like opposites or like judgments, right? Evaluation, judgments that say, oh, X is good and Y is not good, right? Whenever you have anything like that implies differences between things and different things, then you're going into the more of the dualism route. That's what I at least mean in my narrative of it, right? Let's see. Nogri say you actually used to stream Minesweeper a lot. Oh, really? And I'm part of the Twitch Minesweeper community, so you do know a bunch of them. Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's right. And I think I remember that. I think you know what? You've rated a Minesweeper, a couple Minesweeper people before, man. I remember that, and I hung around when you rated one of them once, and we were doing Minesweeper for a while. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, my issue with Minesweeper, like, you can't win every time, right? Like, some of them are, you can come into impossible situations, right? I could have sworn that was the case, right? That, like, even if you play perfectly, there's some situations that are you're be doomed to failure. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I remember reading that like a long time ago, and it kind of disappointed me. And then in Spider Solitaire is the same way, right? You get some decks that are literally unsolvable when you're doing like expert difficulty, right? And that's what I play. I like to play Spider Solitaire these days. So it's kind of weird when you're playing something and it's like, oh yeah, you just spent all your time playing it and there was no possible way to beat this, right? It's kind of like a weird feeling. Let's see. Chad Guy, you say Agni needs to do cooking next. Yeah, right? Dude, Chad Guy, you're all about the cooking these days, man. You've been making these great vegetarian dishes, dude. You've been posting some good stuff, man. I love it. Oh, I wanted to show you before I forget. This is exciting. So yesterday I was telling a story. About going for I went on a hike with a friend a couple days ago, and we came across a Buddhist monk, and he was just chilling out by us, right? And I waved to the guy, and he waved back, and then he just walked out. He like kind of skipped from like rock to rock, just like jumped a couple rocks right to the middle of this river, and then he sits down on this rock, right? He sits down on this rock in the middle of the river, right by the waterfall, and proceeds to meditate. It was like totally cool, right? And so this Buddhist monk is just sitting in the river and he's meditating to the waterfall, right? I got a picture of it and I just threw it on Discord. So let me. Oh yeah, by the way, everyone join my Discord. Okay, so let me bring up this picture so we can all see it. Okay, we have it up, and then display Discord. Look at that. How cool is that? This dude is just hanging out in the middle of a river meditating. Like, what an awesome guy. What an awesome guy. Man, I love this guy. He's just chilling there. Like, how many times are you walking out in nature and you come across like something like this, just a Buddhist monk who's and you could tell that he was one with the divine. Like this monk right here was in a state of pure oneness. He was in a state of pure love. He was just flowing with the river. The waterfall was going. He was amazing. It was amazing being able to just check it out, And so I hung with him. I did some meditation with him, not on the rock, but on shore. I was doing my own meditation, and then I took off. But he was still there. He was still there when I left. He was there a while, just chilling, meditating. Right? It was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to come across something like that. Okay, let's go back to chat. Herbert, you say, what does monism say about how we have control of our bodies, but not other bodies or things? Well, that would hinge on identity, right? Whatever your view is on the fundamental nature of identity, right, or the metaphysical nature of identity, right? If you hold, there's four major views of identity that are on the market right now. The one view is that we're animals, right? That's what our deeper kind is. That we're simply human beings simply are animals. And that's it, right? And that's like a pretty straightforward view from the scientists, right? Biology is going to be like, what is a human being? It's a Homo sapien, right? It's an animal, right? So that's one view of identity. Another view of identity is that we are psychological beings. This is Baker's view. All right, Baker argues that we are these psychological beings, and what defines personhood, what makes us a person, is that we have psychological continuity, which is basically the ordered temporal sequencing of events. So you can be like, hey, you can think back and be like, hey, when I was 5, I experienced X. And then when I was 10, I experienced Y. And then when I was 20, I experienced Z, right? And to be able to line those events up in the correct chronological order is one necessary condition of personhood. Another necessary condition of personhood is that we have self-reflective consciousness. This is according to Baker, right? So Baker believes that self-reflective consciousness is also necessary, such that if you can reflect on your own life and who you are, then you're considered a person, right? You're classified as a person. Now you might think, well, why is this important, right? Why is this significant? And what practical application does it have, right? And what utility does this have? Well, it's very important because if we're talking about what it means to be a human being, and that human being is maybe like in a nursing home and with dementia and Alzheimer's, or like, lying in a hospital bed, like brain dead, right? Then according to Baker's psychological view, that is not a person anymore, right? So that isn't even a person according to her view. So it's kind of wild, and she has gained a lot of traction with this idea, right? With this notion that you need psychological continuity and a first-person perspective and self-reflective consciousness. That these are the things that define personhood, right? So there's her view. So you have the animal view, you have Baker's view, which is a psychological view. You have the nihilism view, the neural nihilism view, which a lot of neuroscientists espouse. They hold this, that, we don't have a self. We don't have a self to begin with. It's also the view that a lot of that Buddhists hold, right? There is no self to begin with. There never was a self. What would make you think that there is a self, right? Some people will be like, oh, well, Descartes, I think therefore I am, right? Blah, blah, blah. But that presupposes an I, right? I think, therefore I am presupposes that you have an I to begin with, right? What if you're not the thinker thinking your thoughts? What if you're not the thinker thinking the thoughts? What if the thoughts are just, spontaneously arising, right? So you have the nihilism view as well. And then the other view is one I mentioned earlier, which is the dualism view, the new dualism view. And that's the one that Hasker and Lowe have been really coming forth in the last like 10 years promoting. And that's the view. It's basically Cartesian dualism wrapped up in a more palatable, a more palatable frame, right? And then presented to 2022 Western philosophy, right? And that's the idea that we have two things. We have a soul, and we have a soul and a body, and these are distinct things, right? These are very distinct things. They both exist. They're both real, but they're distinct. They're separate. And when the soul, they argue for the view by saying that once the brain is constructed in a certain way, right? Once the human brain is the three-dimensional constitution of the brain is constructed in a particular organized fashion, that the soul spontaneously is able to either arise from the brain, right, or emerge. Like you have an emergence, you have emergent properties coming forth, and the properties are greater than the vastly greater than the total of the atoms or cells within the brain, right? So you have those four views. Those are the four main competing views on the market right now for identity. Getting back to your question earlier, so you said, because I said, well, what it all hinges on what your view of identity is, what metaphysical assumptions you make about the nature of identity. We were saying, let's see. Oh, okay. What does monism say about how we control of our bodies? But yeah, it would depend. Monism would depend on what version of monism you hold, right? I could talk about my version of monism. My version is that simply, we are attached to a given body, right? Where we feel like we are this body, right? You don't think about it. You get up in the morning, you look in the mirror. You're not like, hey, is that thing in the mirror me, right? You're like, no, this is me, right? This is me, right? And you're pointing to this bag of water, right? This bag of water that what are we, like 70% water? I don't know. We're a lot of water, right? So you're pointing to this water and you're saying like, hey, that's me. I identify with that. But monism, my version at least, would say that no, that's actually not you. The love within you is the real part of you. The body is simply this shell that is going to be here temporarily, but it doesn't even exist from the context of eternity. It's simply like it's like this. It's like when you wake up in the morning and you get up and you're like, you had a crazy dream and you're like, whoa, that was a crazy dream. I was a pirate and I had like my head turned into a carrot and I was dancing naked on the Titanic, right? You're like, you're not gonna you're gonna get up and hit the alarm clock and then go on with your day, right? You're gonna turn off your alarm on your phone and go on with your day. You're not gonna sit there and think, wait a minute, maybe that was reality, the dream was reality, and waking up and being in this realm is not reality, right? You're not going to think that because you have shit to do. You have to go through your day and do stuff, and it wouldn't make sense, to question that, right? I personally believe that that's what happened with us, that we actually went into a dream state and that this is currently the dream state. So all of this, the whole realm, my version of monism is that the whole realm of space and time isn't real. And sure, it may appear to be real from the context of eternity, or from the context that we're currently in, being within this spatial-temporal realm, but it doesn't last. It's not permanent. It's transitory, and it's only here for a short blip. It was here for like a split second, and then it was gone. And then it ceased to exist. It doesn't even exist currently. But as long as we believe in it, we're powering it. We're basically we're driving the engine, and we're saying, all right, our attachments to things in the external world are driving this spatial-temporal illusion to continue. But in reality, we're simply one mind. So if we scrap this entire world, all the universe, all matter, just even get rid of fucking energy. Get rid of it all. I'm all the way. I say get rid of energy. Energy doesn't exist in my ontology. That's how sparse my ontology is. It's pretty intense, right? So in my ontology, there's no matter, there's no energy, there's no space and time. There simply is this state of pure oneness, this state of pure being where we are all one and nothing else exists, and nothing else ever has existed, and nothing else ever could exist, and we have everything that we've ever needed, and we feel perfectly fulfilled, perfectly content, perfectly loving, but then we spawned this spatial-temporal realm with a crazy idea. We basically said, we created a contradiction, right? Something that couldn't exist. It was like the idea, like, hey, what would happen if we created something that we can't create, right? And it's like, bam, then we go to sleep and spawn this dream, right? We go to sleep and we're like, hey, now we're living in some dream state and everything seems real. And the fact that you're getting up and going to a job and coming home and driving a car and getting married and having kids and all these things, they seem really real, but they're not. It's just a dream, right? Just like when you wake up for your dream, you're not like, hey, that was real, that I was a parrot. You're just like, no, that's my day. I think one day we're just going to wake up from this dream and we're going to be like, well, that was fucking weird, boundaries and separations and distinctions between different objects, that's so bizarre. Like, what a weird dream. And then it's just going to be gone. It's going to be gone. Like, all of human history is just like, bam, fucking gone. And we're going to be like, oh yeah, we're in a state of perfect love. We're in a state of pure bliss. We feel maximally good. We feel maximally peaceful. We feel at the best in every possible sense. We feel complete, because that's what oneness is. It's a state of completion. It's not a state of, I need to get X to be happy. I need to get Y to be happy. I need state of affairs Z to occur in my favor to be happy. No, it's saying I already have every possible thing I need within me, and if I can access that, I don't, nothing else is going to even have a substance. So in my ontology, in my sparse ontology, the only things that actually exist within this spatial temporal realm are the people you encounter. So when you walk, I'm not going the solipsism route. I'm not saying like, oh, those other people don't exist. No, I absolutely believe in other people, right? In my ontology, right? So but I believe that those people that you encounter exist, and they are part of you. You're the same. They're like your reflection. You're seeing each other, right? And you're perceiving everything in your reality as a subjective, disparate part, right? But in reality, it's all one. It's all the same. But we're in this like group delusional dream right here, where we dreamed up separation and division, and that's what spawned this realm. Anyways, that's what I believe. Believe whatever you want. That's just my personal belief. Okay, where are we in chat? Nogar, you say normally you can be doomed, but now you can get no guess boards where they are always solvable. That's awesome, because that was always my one knock. That was always my one knock against it. I thought it was not solvable, and that's the thing about Spider Solitaire. You literally get some decks that are not solvable on the hardest difficulties. I mean, it says it on the thing. I think that's kind of garbage, right? I mean, I don't want to play my work as hard as I possibly can and play something perfectly and still lose, right? If I work as hard as I can, I should be able to win. Excuse me. All right, let's see. Oh, no, now you're saying Minesweeper is like life. You can play perfectly and still... Oh, you can play perfectly. Yeah, but there are no guess boards where they are all solvable. Okay. Okay, all right, I see what you're saying, and I like that analogy. Like you can play perfectly and still lose. That's funny. That's funny. So, by the way, I want to say something else in line with that, Noger. So I'm a chess teacher. I've told you that numerous times, and when I'm teaching a class of kids on the first day, here's the lesson I always give to them. Here's the first things that I teach these kids. Right, I come out, they're all sitting there, and I'm like, all right, so why do you think I like chess so much? And I'll ask, like, a kid will raise his hand and he'll be like, because it's fun. And I'll be like, yeah, that's one reason, but it's not the main reason I like chess. So does anyone else have a guess? Why do you think I like chess so much? And another kid will raise his hand and be like, because you have to use your mind. And I'll be like, yeah, that's a reason, but it's still not the main reason. And then I'll sit there and then there'll be like silence and everyone will just be like thinking and not raising their hand. And then I'll say, okay, you could be the best at any dice game in the world. But if you roll bad every single time, you're going to lose. It's just bad luck. You could be the best at any card game in the world. But if you get dealt bad cards every single hand, you're going to lose. It's just not fair. Chess is not like that. In chess, there is no luck. If you play better, if you win the game, it's because you played better than your opponent. If you lose the game, it's because your opponent played better than you. Life is not fair. Chess is fair. And that's how I always start the class off with, and it kind of sets the tone. And the kids start really thinking about it. Any kid that has an inkling of a fairness, because I'm really big into the notion of fairness and justice. I like things being fair. I like things working out. When I see ridiculous things not working out, it really upsets me on a very deep philosophical level, right? I'm thrown into existential angst at that point, right? So that's one of the reasons. That's why I like chess so much. All right, we got off track there a little bit. Noger, you said the games we played today were all winnable. This makes it fair to everyone playing since it is all a matter of skill. Yeah, absolutely. If they're all going to be winnable, then that is fair. I love it. I love that there's that fairness component of it. Okay, all right. I need to drink some water. I gotta remember to hydrate here. Okay, Herbert, you say when you say we dream, you mean it's something we believe, right? Or a literal dream. It's like a belief. I believe that this whole dualistic framework, that the whole spatial temporal realm, that the entire that any kind of existence where there's separations between things and boundaries between things and distinctions between things is incorrect. It's not actually how things are. It's how they appear from within the dream, but it's not how things actually are, right? The ontological status of the spatial-temporal framework is such that it doesn't exist. And when I say it doesn't exist from the context of eternity, which we are eventually going to be reunited with, because that's where we currently are, but we can't see it. It's like we're dreaming, right? It's like we went to sleep. So I believe that all of humanity is currently dreaming this dream. It's powering this dream through its belief. But then one day we're not gonna have need for it anymore, and it's just gonna we're gonna wake up and we're like, oh wow, Earth, 50,000 years of human existence, that was a pretty crazy dream we just had, of like getting up and like driving to work and like living thousands of lifetimes as a human being and like doing all these things in the phenomenal world, right? Like that was a crazy dream, and then eventually we're gonna wake up and be like, wow, that was weird. All right, fuck it, and then we're just gonna be in a state of perfect bliss again, right? That's my personal belief, though. Like that's not, like I always say, like these are just, this is based on the metaphysical assumptions I have and what has come to me in meditation and through spiritual readings. I've just taken things that, and I'm not saying anything new. I mean, everything I say has been said before. It's just I'm just trying to put a different frame around it, right? Because that's at the end of the day, that's all. There's really not that many different messages out there. People just package them differently, such that they can actually be understood and accepted by different audiences, right? If I want to go to like Somalia and promote a certain idea, I'm going to package it in a frame that is going to be appealing to a Somalian, right? If I'm going to go to Chicago, if I'm going to stay in Chicago and present an idea, at a philosophical conference, right? I'm going to present that idea using very different terminology than I would if I was like, I don't know, in the South Side rapping, right? Like it's going to, like if I'm on the South Side rapping, presenting an idea, that's going to be very different than if I'm like, in Norway at a heavy metal show and I'm up there, screaming into the mic, right? I mean, these are all different ways of presenting ideas, right? Everyone's got, scientists have a different way of presenting their findings. Economists have a different way of presenting their findings. Think about politicians. Think about how politicians present ideas, and they're just like taking surveys and they're like, what do people want to hear? How can we get how can we get our agenda accepted? How can we promote our agenda, in such a way that people accept it and people like it, and then it's going to make people happy with me, and vote me in again, right? Okay, let's see. Herbert, you say you don't understand how you got to we would turn into a collective consciousness. Okay, I believe we already are in that state of pure oneness. So picture this as like all of the universe, right? You have all of the universe like right here, right? Space-time, boundaries, separations between objects, the entire universe. I'm talking, Neptune, Pluto, any matter, any energy, anything that's ever existed within this spatio-temporal realm, right? You have all that right here. I think this is just like a tiny little blip, right? And everywhere else that's ever existed, everything else is just pure love, pure light, right? So you have pure love and pure light everywhere, like throughout everything, and throughout all that exists, all that could possibly ever exist. And then you have this like tiny little blip of space-time, right? And within the space-time realm, I mean, we're not going to be able to see. We're not going to have direct access to the larger light, to that love, to that oneness that permeates everything, And so I guess that's where I'm going. Hey, Evelyn Yoga's here. Oh, good to see you, Evelyn. Evelyn is a phenomenal streamer on Twitch. Definitely check her out. I got to see her yoga stream earlier today. It was so good. It was good. I got to hang. I didn't get to participate. I will be honest. I didn't get to participate, but I arrived late. I arrived fashionably late, so I have an excuse. Evelyn is an Australian. Now, since I'm an American, I think that she's exotic because she's an Australian. I think everyone from Australia is like super exotic and like interesting. And I want to know more about these people. And like they probably just are like, dude, we're just normal people. And I'm like this ignorant American, like thinking they're exotic, right? Like that's how it goes. I'm just some Chicago guy, like thinking, whoa, you're from Melbourne. You're like this, exotic, amazing, human being. And Evelyn's probably like, no, I'm just like a normal human being, right? But anyways, check her out, drop her a follow. Evelyn, I'm going to get your auto shoutouts working because look at that auto shoutout that popped up for you. Like, look how easy that is. It's so much easier than you're always sitting there having to like mess around, typing on your phone. Like, forget that. We got to get your auto shoutouts working. All right, well, yeah, we are about ready to hop in to the Tao Te Ching. We are going to hop into, this is one of the greatest books ever written, according to me, right? Predicate's a personal taste, right? I can't objectively say that this is, but, I don't know, maybe like the amount of people that have read it probably could influence, could give it some more objective appeal, for like one of the greatest books ever written. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You say it's stream elements, though, not, it's stream elements, not, okay, yeah, so I do mine through, okay. Well, this is different though. So I'm using both. So I kind of have a Frankenstein system. I'm using Stream Elements. I'm using Streamlabs. Streamlabs OBS. I'm using OBS Studio. I'm using like Chatbot. I'm using all sorts of shit. I kind of like just Frankenstein the whole thing together. I'm not even sure if I'm doing it the most efficient way, but it works good. It definitely works, and that's why I do it that way. But well, yeah, whatever. We can work on it together at some point. All right, Herbert, you say. But if in 50,000 years we would say that was a cool dream to ourselves, that would be a kind of human-like consciousness and thinking. Yeah, I mean, it kind of would, right? But we would all be saying it as one, right? We would all be like, together, being like, "Whoa, that was a weird, a cool dream we had. That was a weird dream we had, right?" And yeah, and thought is a component of that love. Like when I say that pure love, I'm talking about love that drives that drives thought, right? But the only thought is about pure love and pure oneness and pure joy and share and being that state of pure oneness. You bring up a good point though. let's see, let me spend a little more time. I feel like you're asking some deep questions, and I'm kind of glossing over. I feel like I'm kind of glossing over some of this stuff. Okay, but if in 50 years we would say that was a cool dream to ourselves, that would be a kind of human-like consciousness. Yeah, and I don't know what it would look like, right? I don't know I have no idea what that would look like to be existing in that state of pure oneness and being like, wow, you know what? I actually do. I have a little bit. I feel like I have a sneak peek of it. It's like when you're really deep in meditation, right? And like let's say you're having a rough day, right? Like I was having a terrible day yesterday. I was having a miserable day. My mental, emotional state was just garbage. I felt like garbage. I was going through the day. I was just feeling like crap. Then I was playing Doom Eternal on stream. I just kept dying over and over, and I was just, I finally got past the part I wanted to, but it was just a long, grueling process. I was pissed off. I was angry, and then I ran a guided meditation, and in that guided meditation, I was sitting there and I was just meditating, and then I started like slowing down my breathing. I slowed everything down. And then I realized that it was silly to be upset and to be angry and to be depressed at that moment. I realized it doesn't make sense because I don't want to feel that way. There was no, X, Y, or Z in the world that was causing me to feel that way. It was just an internal thinking. And I chose not to feel that way, right? And as soon as I made that choice, as soon as I made that conscious decision that I didn't want to feel like garbage anymore, I started feeling better. And then we kept slowing things down in the meditation, and I started feeling better and better and better and better. And then by the time the meditation was done, I felt perfect peace and love within me. And I felt that there. And then I was thinking that was a silly thing to allow myself to be that upset and angry. And when, first of all, it's non-productive. You're not going to get anything accomplished if you're fuming with rage, right? I mean, nothing good for most likely. It's better just to be cool-headed, logical, rational, and think things through, and then act. Not based on some crazy emotional swing, but act on reason, right? And that's so that right there. When I was in that state of pure love and meditation, when I was existing in that state, I was able to see the world for what it is, and that world consisted of this body sitting here, being very upset and unhappy, right? And I didn't want to have that experience anymore. I felt, and that's kind of analogous to maybe like what we'll experience, right? When we wake up from the dream and we're like, oh, spatial temporal, realm, bye, goodbye. We're done with matter. Matter's boring. That was old because if you think about the nature of matter, right, it just constantly is changing and shifting and changing shape, and it's transitory, and things are coming to life and dying and coming to life and dying, and it's just kind of like it's a bunch of weirdness. It's weird. I kind of go with Parmenides, on that all is one. Parmenides was one of the original monists. Actually, he's actually the grandfather of metaphysics. It's pretty cool. He's the first dude, from my understanding, to make a logically deductive philosophical argument. You had other pre-Socratics like Thales, and that Thales believed like everything was water, and Heraclitus that thought that everything was that the fundamental nature of reality is change. That change is what's foundational, right? And Parmenides believed that oneness is foundational, and that anything that changes does not exist. So like if you see something out there in the world and you see it changing, not real according to his ontology, right? If and it's just part of the dream. It's part of the dream that we bought into. Let's see. Evelyn, you say you are talking really fast. Are you hopped? No, I'm not hopped up on anything. We just got done meditating. I got excited though. Because I've had some great questions. We got into philosophy. We got into philosophy. I always get excited when we're doing philosophy. Yeah, Evelyn, pure love. Yes, I think everything is pure love at the most fundamental level. I'm not talking about like the car accident that we got into, or the the toe that you stubbed right when you walked in the door. I'm not saying that is pure love. I'm saying if you take everything down to the most fundamental level, that the most fundamental component of all of that exists is pure love, and that from pure love spawns peace and joy and all those other positive attributes. It has all those other positive attributes associated with it. But yeah, if we go as fundamental as you can get into that place of pure love. All right. And Herbie, you say thank you. Yeah. Well, thanks. You meant are you hopped up on pure love? Oh, I right now. How do I feel? I feel very stimulated, to be honest. I feel like I need to fill up my water and kind of like stretch out a little bit. So I'm going to fill up my water, stretch out. I will be back in a minute, and we will calm things down and do a reading from the Tao Te Ching. Be back in 2 minutes. All right. We are back. And we're going to delve into one of the greatest books of all time, the Tao Te Ching. We have been reading one verse every stream. And we are on verse 11. The author of this is Lao Tzu. And he's a cool dude. He was a cool dude when he was around thousands of years ago. He was, I believe, like the historian or librarian of this city-state, and he just got sick of all the nonsense in this realm and wandered off into the desert. And before he left, the guard who was hanging out at the gate was like, "Hey, please stay." And Lao Tzu was like, "No, I'm not going to stay." And then he's like, "Well, could you at least write down some passages?" So he wrote down his passages. Okay. Anyways, here we are, verse 11. One who pursues learning makes gains every day. One who gets to hear about the way makes losses every day. One loses and loses until one takes no action. One takes no action, nor does one have any ulterior motive for action. If your wish is to gain the empire, you should constantly refrain from meddling. By the time you meddle, you are not equal to the task of gaining the empire. Ooh. Lao Tzu. Pretty cool, right? That's a good one. I love it. Let me read that one more time because there's a lot to unpack there. One who pursues learning makes gains every day. One who gets to hear about the way makes losses every day. One loses and loses until one takes no action. One takes no action, nor does one have any ulterior motive for action. If your wish is to gain the empire, you should constantly refrain from meddling. By the time you meddle, you are not equal to the task of gaining the empire. Ah, awesome. Lao Tzu is the man. He really is. He's so poetic. He's so deep. And now let's unpack some of this. All right, his first part. One who pursues learning makes gains every day. One who gets to hear about the way makes losses every day. Now I think this is going to be challenging for a lot of people, this passage, right? When you hear this passage, like when I first heard this passage, I was like, I don't like that. It's a little cringe. Right? Because I'm someone who's all about learning. I'm someone who's all about, I pursued science, and then I delved into philosophy and pursued philosophy. And I like to learn as much as I can about things, right? So this sounds weird. But what Lao Tzu is actually saying here is that by pursuing knowledge of the external world, so of the dualistic framework around us, is not knowledge of permanence. It's basically you're pursuing knowledge of something that doesn't exist, right? So it's like, how helpful is that in the bigger scheme of things? It might be helpful in the shorter term, but in the long term, it's probably not going to be super beneficial, right? And then he says, one who gets to hear about the way. And by the way, the way is the Tao. So whenever in this book he says the way, he's referring to the Tao. So one who gets to hear about the way makes losses every day. So you're losing attachments to things. This is a very Buddhist concept, right? You're losing attachments to things in the external world because you don't believe the external world exists. You're like, hey, this external world, this thing that I thought was so important, turns out it doesn't exist, right? I mean, if let's say you were bestowed with the knowledge and you completely believed that nothing outside your window existed. It didn't exist. Only the mind, only the people that you encountered. That's the only thing that was allowed in your ontology, right? You would cease to find things as important, right? You'd be like, hey, you know what? If my sports team wins, it doesn't matter because, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything. It's not real. If I buy this new house, it doesn't matter because it doesn't exist. Matter is not real, right? You wouldn't have such strong attachment. So you would make losses every day. That's what he means by this. And then one loses and loses until one takes no action. So once you've lost all attachments to things, and you've gone internally and connected with that state of pure love and oneness within you, once you've reached that state of pure love and pure oneness, then you realize all that other stuff is not necessary. It's nonsensical. It's a waste of your time. This is what he's saying here. One takes no action, nor does one have any ulterior motive for action. It follows. If your wish is to gain the empire, you should constantly refrain from meddling. By the time you meddle, you are not equal to the task of gaining the empire. And here he's just basically saying less is more, right? This is a concept that tends to be very difficult for Westerners, right? I'm a Westerner, I've lived inside, in or out of Chicago my whole life. I've been, I was in Illinois and Peoria for a while, but like for the most part, I'm a Chicago guy, right? And for me to understand the notion less is more, that took a lot of work, right? Because what does Western culture say? You get more money, get more cars, get more homes. You can only be happy if the following conditions are met, and it becomes this like weird self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you don't buy into that, most people buy into the marketing paradigm, right? Most people buy into like, I need the following things in order to be happy because my television, the commercials that run in between my show tells me I need these things, right? So if you don't buy into that though, then your whole perspective is going to be different. And that's what Lao Tzu is saying here. He's saying don't go off there and meddle and waste your time and energy in things that aren't important. Go into your heart and connect with the divine that actually exists there. And then once you connect with the divine, and once you have a strong, you've strengthened that connection, then you can share your love with all those whom you encounter. Then you can bring that love to the only other thing that actually exists, which is the other people that you encounter, and you can reunite with all of humanity, and we can say goodbye to this dream, and then we can wake up and be like, wow, that was a fucking weird dream we had. There was space and time, and there were disparate entities, and there were all these distinct features and boundaries. Weird dream. All right, we're done with that. Goodbye, and then the dream just disappears. So that's kind of what my take on that. All right. Anyways, we have chakra balancing to do. And I have been talking fast. We have we got the sevenfold journey. Herbert, you said you think it's saying we shouldn't desire, but you don't see how a person can gain an empire without doing anything. I believe he's referring to the empire in your heart, the empire within the true empire, right? Yeah, exactly. You're definitely right about desire, right? By desiring all these things in the external world, we're bound to be unhappy, right? We're bound to be stuck in this Western marketing paradigm. But gaining an empire, yeah, you're not gonna become president of the United States because the United States doesn't exist. It never did. It's not real. It's not even a thing. So who cares? According to my ontology, according to Lao Tzu's ontology, right? It's not even a thing. It's not here. Parmenides was, I still, until someone can prove Parmenides, wrong, I still feel it's the most cogent argument on the market, right? If something changes, if something moves, if something shifts, that's a telltale sign that it doesn't exist. It doesn't have permanent essence. It doesn't have permanent being. Oh, Rokohemda, you say you saw the Tao Te Ching in your hand earlier. Do you have the coins? I think you're thinking of the I Ching. The I Ching. That's a different book. And the I Ching's got all like weird fortune telling things and gambling type things. That's a different book. This is Lao Tzu's masterpiece. This is Lao Tzu's masterpiece. They both have the word Ching in it, so I can see how you could think that. Okay. Let's see. I think it's time let's do a puzzle rush. I need to mix it up a little bit. We'll do a quick puzzle rush, and then we'll move on. So let me load it up. Display. Oh yeah, there's the Buddhist monk. Rokohemda, you'll appreciate this. I was walking at Waterfall Glen the other day, and this Buddhist monk was in the middle of the river meditating. He was just hanging out. We're gonna do Grimm's fairy tales in a minute, but we got to do the chakra balancing first, and we're gonna do a puzzle rush first. All right. So last time I got 22, which is a pretty good score. I gotta capture the correct source. So give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay. Oh, what? There we go. All right, we're good. All right, let's do this. So puzzle rush. How many chess puzzles can you solve in 3 minutes? This is the thing. My high ever is 28. Last time I got 22. Usually, if I'm in the 20s, I'm happy. So let's see what I can get here. All right. Let's. Everyone can see this. Yep. Here we go. Just take, and take, and take. All right. Check and mate. 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 A lot of checkmate in ones. Oh, we got this. So now we have a fork, and we win the knight. Check. Pick up the rook for mate. Sack the queen in 2 moves, and mate in 3. Just go here for checkmate. Go here for checkmate. Go. What am I missing? Oh, I see what I'm missing. So this. All right, cool. This. I'm not. Hold on. Oh, that was weird. I just miscalculated there. All right, we got it though. We got it. I'm like, oh, that was weird, but it actually worked out. What am I missing here? Oh, okay. Sack. We're sacking. There we go. And then we have check, sack the queen, and mate. Here we have Just win. No, are we just playing win the night game? Is that really best? Yeah, just win the night game. And then I'll just back up, right? I guess. Get out of here, queen. All right. Oh, I can win the queen. Win the queen. If you can win a queen, do it. That's a good lesson. I told you I'm a chess instructor. That's my number one lesson. Huh. All right, I'm not seeing this. Oh, yeah, I am. Yes. Rook, move. There we go. Win the queen. Okay, we have check and mate. I believe this. And then we got to throw... Is it this check? Hold on a second. Something's off here. This, I guess? Oh, no, that was terrible. That was terrible. All right. Really, that's really unfortunate. Oh, this. Oh, this is kind of cool. Pick up this, and then you win the queen. That was neat. So, oh, all right. That was no fun. Take, and then win the queen, and then get the fork. All right, and we have this check and check. Oh, all right, 22. 22 is good. That's exactly what I got last time, I think. All right, I will take that any day of the week. I'll take a 22. It definitely makes me happy. Let's see. Rocco, how do you say which part of the river? Right by the waterfall. He was literally sitting like right facing the waterfall. So the waterfall's here. He's sitting back here, like just on that. He hopped from like rock to rock. He like did those long strides, then even hopped to one rock and was just chilling there. He was just chilling there. He sat down and he just meditated, and we meditated together. I meditated on shore. He meditated in the middle of the river. And it was a great place to meditate. If I had been a little more adventurous that day, I would have gone in there with him and tried to find a good rock to hang out with him. Victor Soar, hey, what's up, man? How you doing, friend? It's good to see you. It's been a while. What's been going on with you? How have you been? Rokohem, do you say you love the snakes that hang out there? There are some cool snakes. I all see them on the path, but they've usually been like run over by bikes. I don't know. I think bikes kill a lot of snakes these days. Did you kill a lot of snakes when you were riding a bike? You used to be huge into biking, man. Like, what's your deal? You said there are always some fun snakes there. Yeah, it's true. It's true. They shouldn't kill bikers. Bikers kill snakes. I think bikers like to run over snakes. I just think it's a thing. I really do. All right. We got to hop into the sevenfold journey. I don't feel like doing a ton of it, though, today, to be honest. So we're just going to read this first paragraph. We're just going to go through this first paragraph. That's it. That's all we're going to go through today. And that's it. And then we can go into Grimm's fairy tales, maybe. I'm digging the Grimms. The Grimms are pretty good. And then we can do maybe some more chess. All right. Now that we have established our ground and our center, we begin moving upward. As soon as we move, we shift our focus and discover that the mere act of making a change is a stimulus for consciousness. The mere act of making a change is a stimulus for consciousness. That's pretty cool. Change helps us to wake up, to realize there is more to learn, and invites us to reach out and explore. As our attention shifts from self, the focus of the first chakra, to other, we encounter dualities and their mutual attraction, and discover the realm of feelings and desire. So the first significant aspect of the second chakra is change. Well, that's pretty cool. So the second chakra is all about change. The first significant aspect of the second chakra being change. All right, interesting. That's very Heraclitus would be proud. Go back to 500 BCE, and we'll hang out with Heraclitus and we'll talk with him. He'd be very proud if about that second chakra, because that's what he believed the fundamental nature of reality was. He believed it was change. You believe that that was what is most fundamental, that's what's most primal. Let's see. Rogahamda, you say, never hit a thing, tore up a shoulder ditching a bike to avoid a deer. You almost hit a deer? Yeah, deer are pretty crazy, man. They get out there. It's tough to avoid them sometimes. I've almost hit deer too. Deer just, I don't know. Deer are pretty dumb. I'm starting to get sick of deer. Like they've really been fucking shit up. We need to get some more natural predators, right? Is that the problem? Deer don't have a natural predator. Like what do we got? What kills deer? I mean, what about bears? Don't bears kill deer? Like, why can't a bear kill a deer? Like, I feel like bears could just wipe out deer, right? Or like a cheetah, but there's no cheetahs around here. That's the problem. In my area, there's no cheetahs and there's no bears. All right. Victor Sir, you say, chillin' man, trying to get 2 pilot studies ready to submit for publication. Ooh, awesome. That's pretty cool. Also working on some ideas to submit for publication. Awesome. Yeah, dude. Get published, man. If you get published, that's going to help. It's going to help, man. It'll help whatever else you're pursuing. Rokohemda, you say you should do the maleficorum. It's way more metal. I don't know, man. I don't even know what that is, dude. I don't even know what that is, but I like it. Maleficorum. All right. Well, we might have to look that up at some point. All right. Victor Sir, flowing like water. You can feel that for the second liquid chakra. Yeah, right? You just, that's what it is. The second chakra is water, right? That's the element associated with it. So, and think about a waterfall, right? Think about flowing water, right? It's constantly changing. It's constantly moving, right? It's not really sitting still. There's always something going on in that water, right? Even if the water is chilling a little bit. Let's see. Rokhemda, you say bears are way too slow. Can't bears run 60 miles an hour? Bears can run 60 miles an hour, dude. I remember reading that when I was a kid. That impressed the fuck out of me that some bears can run 60 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure they're fast, but I think they can only do sprints. Hold on, I gotta look this up now. This sounds like ridiculous to me as an adult. When I was a kid, I heard that bears could run 60 miles an hour. Hold on, I gotta see this. How fast can bears run? I'm sorry, it's 35 miles an hour for a brown bear. Damn it. I don't know why I thought 60. It says a brown bear's 35 miles per hour. That's pretty good, though, right? I mean, I think 35 miles an hour is totally quick enough to catch a deer. If you can run 35 miles an hour, you can catch a deer. I can't run anywhere near 35 miles an hour. Bears are intense. Brown bears are intense to be able to move that quick. Like there's no escaping a brown bear. You're not gonna, if it's running at you, you're not gonna get away from it. Like you better have some kind of alternate strategy. Let's see. Rokhemda, you say it's the witch's hammer. 15th century folio and witch hunting. Dude, what's with all the talk about witches these days, man? I can't handle it. Everyone, I feel like everyone in my world is a witch these days. Like I don't know what's going on. Like why do all the witches want to hang out with me? Like, what is going on here? I feel like everything spoken to me like over the last month has just been about witches. My new favorite band is literally called All Them Witches, and one of my best friends just got done hanging out with a bunch of witches, and there's witches witchcraft going on everywhere. Like everyone's talking about being witches in chat. Like what is going on? And you're talking about witch hunting now. Like what is the deal with witches? Like why do witches like me? Like what's going on here? Let's see. Victor Sir, you say the word for flow in Sanskrit is rasa. Oh, cool. Yeah, flow. Is that how it's pronounced? Like rasa, or I assume rasa, like tabula rasa, like that kind of rasa. 35 still is fast. It's like, oh yeah, dude, if a bear is running it, I don't care. I mean, brown bears are a little smaller than grizzlies and all that, or polar bears, right? But if a brown bear is running 35 miles an hour at you, you're gonna fucking be pretty concerned. Like there is no human being on the planet that's gonna be like, oh, there's some brown bear running after me. I'm not gonna be concerned. No, you're gonna be concerned, right? Those are serious animals. Yeah, humans are nowhere. They're nowhere close to 35. Like, yeah, I mean, but I don't know how fast deer can run. I mean, maybe deer can. How fast can deer run? Let's look that up. I want to see that because if bears can run 30, if brown bears can run 35, how fast can deers run? Well, that's reindeer. No, we're not talking about reindeer. I don't want to. I just want. Whoa, pronghorn deer can run 60 miles an hour. Holy shit. And look, I'll even highlight it and show you all so you can believe this because this is blowing my mind. Look at this. 60 miles a fucking hour. So deer could outrun, these pronghorn at least could outrun brown bears. And brown bears are running 35. Dude, these deer are running 60 miles. That's insane. That's fucking crazy. No wonder they have no natural predators. I mean, they're running faster than you're driving. That's craziness. Wow, 60 miles an hour. All right, so imagine a bear running 35 miles an hour at one of these pronghorn deer. That's running 60 miles an hour. It's like running like twice as fast as it almost. Oh man, Evelyn, yeah, my beard, right? I've been growing this beard out, right? I'm growing it out. I've been, I don't know. I've never. This is the longest it's ever been. I'm doing stuff with it. I'm still trying to trim it and get it in perfect order. It's weird. It's weird when it gets this long because you got to put like beard oil in it and you got to use a beard balm and all sorts of stuff. And then I heat it, to straighten it and everything. I'm doing all sorts of stuff with the beard, right? It's weird. It's weird. I don't have any hair up here because I shave it, but like, having the beard is like definitely is interesting. Let's see. Rokohemda, you say, Victor, sir, you say, yeah, like sa, like tabula rasa. Yeah, rasa. Got it. Okay, cool. And then Rokohemda, you say, 35 miles in a straight line, deer jump fucking sideways at 40. If a deer is running, 60 miles an hour, that's fucking crazy, man. That's crazy. Like, I don't know how to catch a deer. Like, I mean, I know people go deer hunting, but like, I guess that they're just standing still. Like, imagine trying to shoot a deer if it's like, running like at a weird angle or like maybe doing like loops or something like that. All right. Let's see. Rokoham, do you say Sanskrit is so much easier than Dravidian? You're all saying weird shit, man. Rokoham, deer are fast as hell. Yeah, they are. I didn't realize they were that fast. I thought for sure a brown bear running 30, but I guess it depends on the particular deer because those were pronghorn deer, right? Those weren't like the other types of deer. Those are like maybe some of the fastest, right? Maybe I know there's got to be some slow deer out there, right? And like the young ones and like the really like if you get a really old deer, like if there's like a really old like doe just like hanging out, it's like she's just chilling. She's not going to be running anywhere near that. She's happy if she can run like 5 miles an hour. You find a deer that's like crippled, and then you can overtake it, I guess. Victor, sir, you say you read that humans are so physically weak compared. Exactly, and I believe the reasoning is that from an evolutionary standpoint, we had to our bodies changed in such a way once we started developing a mind that could create tools and use tools and do things. Through evolution, right? Do some really beneficial things, right? Through our mind, we diverted resources, right? So like we spent less energy and resources like with things like speed and strength and like the thickness of our skulls and other things because we could take that energy and put it into the brain and brain power, right? And that was it was evolutionarily advantageous to do so, and so that's what was selected for over evolutionary time. Evelyn, you say, that was the beard comment. All right. Herbert, you say, roaches are the most advanced species because they can survive. They're survivors. Roaches aren't going anywhere, I mean, those guys, they can survive radiation, right? That's pretty incredible, right? They can survive radiation. Like, we can't survive radiation. How the hell do they survive it? They're pretty awesome. Evelyn, you say, does it grow fast? Do you feel like it just happened in a blink? It grows pretty fast. Like, it's funny when I'm doing yoga and like being healthy, it will grow like really fast. If I'm like, there was a period of time when I was like 20 and I was just like being really unhealthy and I was just sitting around, I was, eating cheesecake all day and just being like a piece of garbage. Then like my beard wasn't growing fast at all. I was just, I gained 45 pounds. I was drinking cheesecake, Evelyn. It was bad. I think I told you this story, right? How I used to like take pieces of cheesecake and throw them in a blender. I used to work at Barnes & Noble Cafe, and they would sell, cheesecake from the original Cheesecake Factory. So me and a friend would sneak in the back, and during like breaks and stuff, and we would just take pieces of cheesecake, throw it in the blender. We'd pour a UBB mix, it was like Frappuccino mix, on top of it. We'd blend up, like 4 or 5 pieces of cheesecake, and then we would just each like drink a pitcher. We would drink a pitcher of cheesecake. It was fucking crazy to drink an entire pitcher of vanilla bean cheesecake. Like I gained 45 pounds in 3 weeks, and then it was the most unhealthy I've ever been in my life. But it was awesome. Like, it tasted so good to just like drink like 4 pieces of cheesecake. I mean, how many people do that, right? But yeah, my beard was not growing fast at that time. That's where I was going with that. Rocco Hemda, you say, I need to come to Beard's Garden in Batavia. Super good beard artist. It would be cool, right? I would like to get some beard sculpting done. I try doing it the best I can, but I'm not a hairdresser. I never learned those skills. I'm a shave head kind of guy. I'm very minimalistic. So doing anything for the beard is like a lot for me. Okay, Rocco Hemda, you say, humans evolved to run long distances versus strength and hit things from a good distance. It's true. I need to be right back. I'll be back in 30 seconds. I'm back. All right. Hello, everyone. Okay, so where were we? Victor, sorry, you said you read that we use more lymph fluid to nourish the brain. In contrast, chimpanzees use lymph fluid much more for running and jumping. Interesting. Yeah, so I guess lymph fluid is a important component in brain function, right? And so yeah, we're diverting it, so then we can't run or jump as high. I wonder if people who could run like really fast, are able to like suck more lymph fluid from their brain, but then maybe they might not perform as well on like cognitive tests, right? After they've done they've like run a marathon, right? Rokerham, do you say roaches can only survive 1 day out of 7, depending on when they get hit by radiation? Well, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. That's like a weird thing to know, man. You always know these. You always have these like weird insights. Like who else knows that? Who else just like has that in their memory, in their understanding that roaches can only survive 1 day out of 7, depending on when they get hit by radiation? That's like not something that's commonly known, man. You always have these weird tidbits. Evelyn, you say cheesecake. Yeah, I mean, I was literally drinking up 4 pieces of cheesecake, and I was drinking it. It's even like worse because it was terrible. 45 pounds in 3 weeks. That is not healthy weight to put on. Let me tell you. Like, I was like so sluggish. I was all phlegmy. I was disgusting. I was a piece of garbage. It was bad, Evelyn. I had to stop that real quick. Let's see. Rocco Hemda, you say, Victor, sir, look at a shaved chimp, super ripped. A shaved chimp, they are, dude, chimps are strong. I mean, I think I could take down a chimp, but, Rocco Hemda will argue against it. But I also think I could take down an adolescent, like a young to adolescent, like panther, or young to adolescent, like jaguar. Or cougar. I think I could take those down. But once they get to like 2 adolescents, or to adult size, no way. But like if it's like a baby that's just on the verge of becoming an adolescent, I think I could take down a cheetah. I really think I could do it. All right. And Rocco, you said that's why most apes can't swim. Is due to density of muscles. Probably, yeah. Think about it, because muscle doesn't float, right? Muscle sinks, right? If you're a real strong dude and you're out there trying to float, it's going to be a lot tougher than if you're just like 400 pounds and can just kind of lay there and be buoyant, right? All right. Evelyn, you say you and your 8th grade bestie used to make a bowl of cake mix to eat raw. Yeah, cake mix is so good. It's so good, and it's so good raw, but it's, you can get like salmonella and gets really sick, but it's fun, right? I mean, like when you're a kid to do that kind of stuff, it tastes so good. I'm thinking of cookie dough right now. I want some cookie dough. Victor Story, you say, your body never allowed you to eat like that. It had you sign a contract to treat it like a temple. You know what? You're doing the right thing, man. You really are. Like, I went through a phase where I was just eating garbage. Like I was raised to eat healthy, and then I went through a phase where I was like, I don't know, I'm going to eat garbage because I can like, just rip off pieces of cheesecake, and just pound them in the back room, and just eat cheesecake all day. I'm going to do it, and then like. It was like the worst move ever. My body was like, my body then told me very clearly not to continue. All right. Let's see. Evelyn, you say you think it's in the same arena as blended cheesecake. Yeah, I mean that's up there. It's up there. But I remember that one slice of original Cheesecake Factory cheesecake had over 200% of your daily allowance of fat. Like one slice. And these weren't even like big slices. These were like, like small, smaller slices, right? But if one piece had over 200% of your daily allowance of fat, imagine like eating like, I don't know, 4 or 5 pieces a day. Like that's crazy, right? That's like you can't eat anything else the rest of the day, and you're already at like, over 1,000% of your daily allowance of fat. And think about all that sugar, right? You're taking in so much sugar, right? All right. Rokham, you say never fight a chimp. They go straight for eyes and balls. Is that really a thing? Or are you just making that up? That's interesting. Victor, sir, you say, indeed, this is arcane and fascinating. Yeah, right? Rokham always has this weird information. But here's the thing. Victor, sir, I'm going to tell you. You got to be careful because like he'll tell you like, 9 really weird facts and like they'll all be true. And then he'll like throw like one made up fact in there, and it's like you'll believe it because it's like his previous 9 are true, right? So you can look it up, but like 10% of everything he says is going to be like blatant fabrication. So just be on the lookout. Okay, what can you say? Roach cells only divide once every 7 days, so if it hits that day, they are done. Oh, so that's the day it can't hit, huh? And Victor, sir, you say, yeah, you read that chimpanzees can bench press something like 1,400 pounds? Well, I didn't realize they were that strong. All right. Okay. What about like then I would fight a chimpanzee if it was 2 weeks old. I could definitely take down a 2 week. I'll take down you get rid of the mother, right? You get rid of the mother, you get rid of the family. Just me and a 2-week-old chimpanzee. There's no way a 2-week-old chimpanzee could take me down. That's the one I would fight then. Roker, you say, yep, they are insane. Orangutans are the strongest things on earth. Orangutans are no joke. Like, I mean, I'll even admit that. I would never go toe to toe with an orangutan. Hamda used to teach science to special ed. Always had to bring that. Yeah, because it is interesting. It is interesting information, right? It gets people excited when you're teaching. Like when I'm teaching chess, right? I want to make things lively and exciting. So I talk about rooks like setting force fields that the king can't move through, right? And I talk about knights. I have like very animated and interesting ways to talk about knights hopping around the board and things like that, right? Because kids like that stuff, and people like interesting stories. They don't want to hear the same boring shit they always hear. Okay, let's see. Rokham, you say, plus a hatred of sleep and a constant need of info added to the factoids. Yeah. Chimps can run 25 miles an hour also. All right, well then chimps are really scary. So they're not only are they super strong, they can bench press 1,400 pounds, they can run 25 miles an hour, and yet humans are dominant over them. That's kind of crazy, right? Think about how cool it is that we have these brains that have human consciousness, self-reflective consciousness, psychological continuity. The ability to analyze situations in a logically deductive fashion, right? We have these amazing minds, and it's been such an evolutionary advantage that we don't even need to run 25 miles an hour or bench press 1,400 pounds. We're already like in a position at the top of the food chain. Okay, I'm going to say, let's see. loved reading to your students. Yeah, no, I did not. I did not love reading to your students. For sure, you say, yeah, it's just the raw power of the brain. For example, we ride the elephants. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and I remember hearing a story about something about elephants, right? If you take a baby elephant and you put like a chain on it or something, and you or like a rope, and you like stake it in the ground. I think it's just like a little rope. You stake it in the ground. It will it stays there staked to the ground. But then even when you leave it staked, and even when it gets bigger and older, it doesn't realize that it still can't break that chain, or break that bond, even though it's like could totally do it just by moving around. So it will always stay in that radius around that attachment. It's kind of weird, right? I think humans that could be like a cool metaphor to use for about like the human condition, right? And how humans sometimes stay trapped, and they think they have these self-limiting thoughts. Or they have self-limiting thoughts that keep them imprisoned within a certain mentality and a certain belief set, because they can't break free of that, right? And then maybe they're things that served a purpose at one time in their life, but if they no longer serve a purpose, you don't want to keep them there because they can actually hinder your evolution and hinder your development. I gotta slow down. I think I'm moving too quick right now, or speaking too quickly. All right, we're gonna chill out a little bit. Rokohemda, you say elephants are assholes, though. I've never heard that. I've never heard elephants being called. I've never heard the term asshole be applied to an elephant. That descriptor. That elephants are assholes. Maybe they are. Some people love elephants, though. There's a lot of people that love in India, right? Elephants are revered, right? No, I think so, right? Yeah. Rokam, you see, you got smacked twice by them and flew at least 10 feet each time. Yeah, well, that's just because you're weak, dude. If you were actually a strong dude, you would not be getting beat up by elephants. I'm just kidding. Rokam, you say horses are worse. You got way more damage from a horse kick than an elephant swipe. I don't even know. Dude, I think you finally lost it. Rokohemda has finally lost it. Congratulations. Oh, man. I feel like timing him out. I want to time out Rokohemda. Nah, we're not going to do it. Victor, sorry, you say, you don't know if it's true, but a southern lady told you that her super southern grandfather once knocked out a spooked horse running at him by throwing a hook shot. Whoa. That would have been awesome to see. I mean, yeah, right. You never know if that kind of story is true, but it's a cool story, and I could envision it being possible, right? I mean, think about things that weird things happen all the time. Like I once was in the car with my friend Skylar, and he was driving, and he just went to touch the screen to change the to change the radio station that was on. This was like back in the day, and he just gently touches the button. And he's like, ow, ow, ow. And he's like, I'm like, what, dude? What happened? And he's like, ow, ow. And he's like, he was like basically crying. He was in so much pain. He broke his finger. Like, how crazy is that? To just from touching a button on your car stereo, it's like the angle or something, it just hit just wrong, and like your finger breaks. Like, that's crazy, right? Weird stuff can happen. So like, if this guy's saying or this lady's saying that he threw a hook shot and was able to knock it out, I mean, that's I don't think it's impossible. I think it could definitely happen, right? I'm gonna calm down. I got to work on calming down here. This is ridiculous. All right. Let's see. Victor, sir, you say, yes, elephants in India represent strength. From your understanding, it's supposed to be why they made Ganesh a god. Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, elephants are strong. Speaking of which, I have a little elephant that I got when I was in Thailand. I got an elephant keychain. I thought it was over here, but I think it's in somewhere else. So I'll have to go find that later. It's pretty cool, though. It's a pretty cool elephant keychain. Rokhemda, you say, dude, it was a bad day in Chiang Mai with a baby elephant. Dude, Chiang Mai is beautiful. Chiang Mai is the northernmost province in Thailand. Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai, those two areas, they're right by where the Burmese border, when it still was Burma, whatever, that border used to be, or is, right? And they're beautiful. It's untouched by materialism. You go up there, you're just in this like raw, beautiful area. The villagers are just walking around like, barely wearing clothes, and you're just like hanging out with them, and they're loving and they're kind and compassionate. Good people, I don't know about the elephants though. I didn't see many elephants in Chiang Mai. JT, you say don't do it. You'll fight me if you time Roku out. Okay, JT, you're the channel shaman. I'm not gonna go against your policies. Fair enough. Roku Hemda, you say you didn't give it food, and then it threw you twice because you didn't give it food. Well, maybe you learned a valuable lesson there. Maybe next time you'll give it food. Oh man, Roku Hemda, you say dude, Skylar is not a friend to anyone. Yeah, you're talking about my friend Skylar. I think that Skylar is my friend. So I'm friends with a guy who's basically he's a politician, and back in the day he did a lot of shit to piss people off. Hence he became a politician. He's still my friend, even though he's done a lot of shady stuff. Like, I don't know, if someone's my friend, it's really hard for me to like say, hey, you're no longer my friend. I feel like he's, you can keep them at a distance. You don't got to hang out with them every day, but he's still a friend. We've shared some good experiences together. Victor, so you say, wow, humans are pretty fragile. Yeah, I mean, if you can break your finger just by touching a button on your car stereo, I mean, that's fucking insane. I mean, chimpanzees are running like 60 miles an hour, or deer are running 60 miles an hour. Chimpanzees are bench pressing 1,400 pounds, and we're breaking our finger by touching a car stereo button. Like that's madness. Rokem, do you say Skylar is pretty much Christian Bale in American Psycho? His core was not nearly as good as Christian Bale's. Do you remember how strong Bale's abs were in that movie? I mean, he was doing a lot of crunches. I think he said 1,000 crunches a day, and he was working out pretty hard. He was pretty cut. Skylar was never that cut, right? Okay, JT, you say I need a calm down redemption. Make it for 0.0063 Zen points. Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I am too. I think I'm too wound up right now. I think I do need to calm down a little bit. I feel like this is off. This is off a little bit. Let's see. Just like that. I think that's a little better. It looks a little better. I think I'm just. Maybe you know what? I think I'm the one that's off. It's not the camera. Okay. Victor Soar. Roku Hemda and I have been friends since we were 5 years old. It's crazy. We've known each other forever. We've been friends. Yeah, all of it is shitty. Sure, right? He grew up 3 houses down and on the street behind mine. So like I've known this guy forever. We went to the same grade school. We've gone to school, even the same college then as an undergrad. We're like buddies. Like, his parents, they, God bless their soul, they passed away a year and a half ago. But like I would call them mom and dad. They were like second parents to me, and I was like their second son. They would always call me the good son. It was fun. But yeah, I've known this guy forever. Yeah, I know him IRL. Let's see. Rokem, do you say, JT, that is where you met your Hmong friends in Chiang Mai. Super fun folks to hang out with. Cool. Oh, JT, you still have family in Chiang Mai. Whoa. What if you were hanging out with JT's family? Were you hanging out with her family? Like the plot thickens. The plot is thickening right now. Things could be really weird. Things could get really weird really quickly. Let's see. Rokohemda, you say you're in it to hang out with my dad. Yeah, Rokohemda does like my dad a lot. It's kind of weird. Like, Rokohemda's like he loves just talking to my dad and hanging out with my dad all the time. It's but my dad always liked you, so I guess that's it. Rokohemda, you say you missed that city. That place is so much fun. Agni, we should go with her. JT, that would be intense. How intense would it be if you and I went to go like visit your family in Chiang Mai? That would be crazy, right? That would be wild. That would be quite the experience. I mean, I love that area. I love that area. I think that's where the White Temple is, right? That's that's like more of a touristy thing. I like kind of going off like into the remote villages and like the desolate areas. That's more my style. But it is cool that they have a lot of freshness there. Everything's fresh. Rokham, do you say you're convinced my dad is a CIA assassin? You keep saying that. That's like the weirdest like thing ever, man. I don't know why he thinks my father is a CIA assassin. I don't know. I mean, he was an attorney, not an. I mean, maybe attorneys can be assassins. Victor, sorry, you say chimps are about 150 pounds and 5 to 6 feet tall. You guess the strength really isn't the lymph fluid. I mean, dude, that's wild. They can bench 1,400 pounds. And they only weigh 150 pounds. Like, I mean, I don't know any 150-pound dudes that can, or women that can bench 1,400 pounds. Like, that's pretty intense. That's pretty damn intense. JT said, "Let's go. You'll teach y'all Mong." Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. It's cool. Is Mong tonal? I don't know about that. You're gonna have to ask JT that. Victor, you misspoke. The site says 1,200 pounds they can bench. Yeah, whatever, 1,200, 1,400, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, it's a ridiculous amount, basically. They can bench press chimpanzee can bench press way more than most people, and they only weigh 150 pounds. Like, yeah, like I said, I'll fight one that's like 2 weeks old, but after that, I'm not even gonna touch a chimp after that. And then Rokahemda, you say you have a hard time with tonal or guttural languages. Your Dari was always crap, as well as your Farsi. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm terrible with languages to begin with. I can't even speak English half the time. Like, half the time I'm out here, I feel like XQC, just like barely like hanging on to reality. Oh man. Victor, sir, you say it says chimps are about 4 times as strong as humans pound for pound. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. 4 times. I like that. All right. It's time now. It's time now for the moment we've all been waiting for. We have Grimm's Fairy Tales. Yesterday we started this by reading fairy tale number 1, and we're going to read fairy tale number 2 now. Let me edit the stream info. So we're actually describing what we're doing, and let me change category. Is there a story time category? I should have looked that up. I wonder if there is. If there's a story time category. That'd be kind of cool, right? Story book brawl, story of the seasons. No, I don't. I think that's just a game called Story. So I think we got to go to Just Chatting. We're gonna go to Just Chatting. We're gonna read Grimm's Fairy Tales in Just Chatting. All right, that's gonna be kind of fun. All right, this is going to be cool. And by the way, remember, these are really dark. These are dark. I didn't realize how dark these were until I started going through them recently. Okay. Victor, sorry. Yeah, enough monkey business. That's perfect. I love it. Enough monkey business. We got to get down to serious business right now. This is story time, Victor, sorry. We got Grimm's Fairy Tales to go through. Okay, Rokam, you say Thai is a tonal language. All right. And then Victor, JT, you say it's not too hard to learn though. You think you'll get it fast. Rokam is good with language. He can. I mean, this guy was reading like adult like novels when he was like 5 or 6 years old. I mean, this guy has had perfect reading comprehension score on the ACT. He can read pretty damn well. All right, he's good with language. All right. So last time we read. What's it called? It was called The 12 Dancing Princesses. That's what we read last time. And now we're going to read The Golden Bird. I hope you're all ready for The Golden Bird. This is going to be intense. The Golden Bird. All right. Yeah, I can read this. It's like 6 pages. All right. Let's everyone get serious. Everyone get serious here. The Golden Bird is about ready to start. A long time ago, there was a king who had a lovely pleasure garden around his palace, and in it stood a tree which bore golden apples. When the apples were nearly ripe, they were counted. But the very next morning, one was missing. This was reported to the king, and he ordered a watch to be set every night under the tree. Cool. Yeah, king's like pissed that his golden apple got stolen. The king had 3 sons, and he sent the eldest into the garden at nightfall. But by midnight he was overcome with sleep, and in the morning another apple was missing. All right, so the eldest son fucked up. He didn't do his job, right? This is kind of like the story we read yesterday. People are just going to sleep and not doing their job. You know, you gotta not fall asleep when you're on watch, right? On the following night, the second son had to keep watch, but he fared no better. When the clock struck 12, he too was fast asleep, and in the morning, another apple was gone. Ooh, interesting. All right, this is getting serious if all the apples are missing. The turn to watch now came to the third son. He was quite ready, but the king had not much confidence in him, and thought that he would accomplish even less than his brothers. At last, however, he gave permission. So the youth lay down under the tree to watch, determined not to let sleep master him. As the clock struck 12, there was a rustling in the air, and by the light of the moon he saw a bird whose shining feathers were of pure gold. The bird settled on the tree and was just plucking an apple when the young prince shot an arrow at it. The bird flew away, but the arrow hit its plumage, and one of the golden feathers fell to the ground. The prince picked it up, and in the morning took it to the king and told him all that he had seen in the night. The king assembled his council, and everybody declared that a feather like that was worth more than the whole kingdom. All right, these are expensive feathers here. The king... Wait, hold on a second. Oh, okay, there we go. If the feather is worth so much, said the king, one will not satisfy me. I must and will have the whole bird. This king wants the entire bird. He's not messing around. The eldest son, relying on his cleverness, set out in search of the bird, thinking that he would be sure to find it. When he had gone some distance, he saw a fox sitting by the edge of a wood. He raised his gun and aimed at it. The fox cried out, "Do not shoot me, and I will give you some good advice. You are going to look for the golden bird. At nightfall, you will come to a village where you will find 2 inns opposite each other. One of them will be brightly lighted, and there will be noise and revelry going on in it. Be sure you do not choose that one, but go into the other, even if you don't like the looks of it so well." How can a stupid animal like that give me good advice? Thought the king's son, and he pulled the trigger. But he missed the fox, who turned tail and made off into the wood. Thereupon the prince continued his journey, and at nightfall reached the village with the 2 inns. Singing and dancing were going on in the one, and the other looked poverty-stricken and decayed. "I should be a fool," he said, "if I were to go to that miserable place when this good one is so near." So he went into the noisy one and lived there in rioting and revelry, forgetting the bird, his father, and all his good counsels. When some time had passed, and the eldest son did not come back, the second started in quest of the golden bird. He met the fox, as the eldest son had done, and it gave him the same good advice, to which he paid just as little attention. So basically, these dudes are not listening to the fox. These princes got to listen to the fox. He came to the 2 inns and saw his brother standing at the window of the one from which came the sounds of revelry. He could not withstand his brother's calling, so he went in and gave himself up to a life of pleasure. So basically, they're just, doing debauchery. They're just getting drunk. They're just partying, and they're not, going after this golden bird that they need to be going after. Again, some time passed, and the king's youngest son wanted to go out to try his luck, but his father would not let him go. "It is useless," he said. "He will be even less able to find the golden bird than his brothers." Not a lot of faith. This father does not have a lot of faith in his youngest son. Let me tell you that. "And when any ill luck overtakes him, he will not be able to help himself. He has no backbone." But at last, because the son gave him no peace, the king let him go. The fox again sat at the edge of the wood, begged for its life, and gave its good advice. The prince was good-natured and calm. The prince was good-natured and said, "Be calm, little fox. I will do thee no harm." So the youngest prince is pretty cool. He's like, "Hey, fox, that's some good advice, man. I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to do any harm to you." And then the fox said, "You won't repent it. And so that you may get along faster, come and mount on my tail." So he's going to ride the fox. That's a great deal. So instead of killing the fox, he's going to ride the fox, and the fox is going to give him good advice too. No sooner had he seated himself than the fox began to run, and away they flew over stock and stone at such a pace that his hair whistled in the wind. When they reached the village, the prince dismounted, and following the good advice of the fox, he went straight to the shabby inn without looking about him, and there he passed a peaceful night. So he did not go to the crazy rowdy bar. He went to the peaceful place. In the morning, when he went out into the fields, there sat the fox, who said, "I will now tell you what you must do next. Walk straight on till you come to a castle in front of which a whole regiment of soldiers is encamped." That's pretty interesting. There's a whole regiment of soldiers encamped here. So now he's got to come up to this. "Don't be afraid of them. They will all be asleep and snoring. Walk through the midst of them straight into the castle, and walk through all the rooms. At last, you will reach an apartment where the golden bird will be hanging in a common wooden cage." So that's where the golden bird's hanging out. It's just hanging out in some common wooden cage. Interesting. "A golden cage stands near it for show, but beware. Whatever you do, you must not take the bird out of the wooden cage to put it into the other, or it will be the worse for you." All right, now this is serious advice, right? This fox so far has been 100% accurate about everything, but all claims that the fox has made, they've all been accurate. So and here's a picture, right? So that's a picture of the dude, the youngest prince, riding the fox. After these words, the fox again stretched out his tail. The prince took his seat on it, and again they flew over stock and stone till his hair whistled in the wind. When he arrived at the castle, he found everything just as the fox had said. The prince went to the room where the golden bird hung in the wooden cage. A golden cage was standing nearby, and the 3 golden apples were scattered about the room. He thought it would be absurd to leave the beautiful bird in the common old cage, so he opened the door, caught it, and put it in the golden cage. Dude, this is exactly what the fox told him not to do. Why the fuck would he do this? He listened to the fox's other advice about not going in the rowdy inn and going in the peaceful one, and now instead he's gonna do exactly what the fox told him not to do. To not put the golden bird in the golden bird in the golden cage. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with this guy, man? Like, who would do such a thing? I think that's absurd. I think it's absurd that he did that. That's crazy. That's craziness. But as he did it, the bird uttered a piercing shriek. The soldiers woke up, rushed in, and carried him away to prison. No shit, they carried him away to prison. He didn't follow the fox's advice, you know? Like, what is this dude doing? He's supposed to be smart. He was listening to the fox up to this point. Next morning, he was taken before a judge, and as he confessed all, he was sentenced to death. This is serious. I mean, theft is very serious in some kingdoms. The king, however, said that he would spare his life on one condition. I feel like my hamstrings are going to cramp up. I might start screaming in a minute. If I start screaming in a minute and the stream ends, it's because my hamstrings have cramped up. I'm going to have to like lean back a little bit like this. This is getting intense though. My hamstrings are starting to twitch a little bit. All right. The king, however, said that he would spare his life on one condition, and that this was that he should bring him the golden horse, which runs faster than the wind. All right, so now he's got to find a golden fucking horse. We'll see if he's going to ask the fox for advice this time. In addition, he should have the golden bird as a reward. All right, I think that's fair. So he's got to find this golden horse, though. And it runs faster than the wind. Well, we don't know how fast the wind actually travels, right? I mean, you can have like 100-mile-an-hour winds. So this golden horse can run faster than like a tornado or something. So the prince set off with many sighs. Yeah, I'd be like, dude, this is rough, man. Like, why did I not listen to the fox, first of all? And now I got to find this golden fucking horse. Like, this is getting intense. He was very sad, for where was he to find the golden horse? Then suddenly he saw his old friend the fox sitting on the road. Now you see, said the fox, all this has happened because you did not listen to me. All the same, keep up your spirits. I will protect you and tell you how to find the golden horse. You must keep straight along the road, and you will come to a palace in the stable, of which stands the golden horse. The grooms will be lying around the stable, but they will be fast asleep and snoring, and you can safely lead the horse through them. Only one thing you must be aware of. Put the old saddle of wood and leather upon it, and not the golden one hanging near it, or you will rue it. So this is like the last one, right? He's giving him this similar advice, right? He's basically saying, just listen to what I say, and you're not going to get screwed over. Let's see if the prince is wise enough to actually listen to what he has to say this time, right? Then the fox stretched out his tail, and the prince took his seat. And away they flew over stock and stone till his hair whistled in the wind. Everything happened just as the fox had said. The prince came to the stable where the golden horse stood, but when he was about to put the old saddle on its back, he thought, such a beautiful animal will be disgraced if I don't put the golden saddle on him as he deserves. Jesus Christ, he's gonna do this? Hardly had the golden saddle touched the horse, than he began neighing loudly. The grooms awoke, seized the prince, and threw him in a dungeon. Yeah, dude, this prince is really, really stupid. I don't know what his problem is. Like he already got burned by not listening to the fox once, and now he's not gonna listen. Now he's not gonna listen to the fox again. JT, you say, let's go, Agni. Let's book our tickets. We'll make it a date. Yeah, let's do it. We're going to Thailand. We're going to Chiang Mai. We got to get back to this book, though. No messing around here. No monkey business. All right. So then, let's see. Okay. The next morning, he was taken before a judge and condemned to death. But the king promised to spare his life and give him the golden horse as well, if he could bring him the beautiful princess out of the golden palace. With a heavy heart, the prince set out, but to his delight, he soon met the faithful fox. I should leave you to your fate, the fox said. I mean, I don't blame him. At this point, like, I mean, maybe the fox should just leave him to his fate. I mean, he's already not listened to him twice. That's a lot. That's a lot of not listening. But I will have pity on you and once more help you out of trouble. So the fox is like a real stand-up fox, a very genuine dude. Your road leads straight to the Golden Palace. You will reach it in the evening, and at night, when everything is quiet, the beautiful princess will go to the bathroom to take a bath. As she goes along, spring forward and give her a kiss, and she will follow you. So he's got to woo her, basically. Lead her away with you. Only on no account allow her to bid her parents goodbye, or it will go badly with you. So he can't allow her to say goodbye to mom and dad. Fair enough. Again, the fox stretched out his tail, and the prince seated himself upon it, and off they flew over stock and stone till his hair whistled in the wind. When he got to the Golden Palace, it was just as the fox had said. He waited till midnight, and when the whole palace was wrapped in sleep, and the maiden went to take a bath, he sprang forward and gave her a kiss. She said she was quite willing to go with him, but she implored him to let her say goodbye to her parents. Dude, I don't really know many women like this, man. There's not many women that you just can, that they're going to the bathroom, they're going to take a bath, and you're just going to run up to them and be like, hey, I'm going to give you a kiss. And then you just kiss them, and then they want to marry you after that or be with you. That's just not how reality works. I don't know. I mean, the brothers Grimm are kind of messing with reality a little bit here. At first he refused, but as she cried and fell at his feet, at last he gave her leave. Hardly had the maiden stepped up to her father's bed when he and everyone else in the palace woke up. Guess what's going to happen? You can figure it out by now. The prince was seized and thrown into prison. This is the third fucking time this prince has been thrown into prison. I'm really disappointed with this prince. Why can't he just remember what the fox is telling him and actually follow the fox's directives? Really, really disappointed in this prince. Next morning, the king said to him, "Your life is forfeited, and it can be spared only if you clear away from in front of my window the mountain which shuts out the view. It must be done in 8 days. If you accomplish this task, you shall have my daughter as a reward." So he's going to give him his daughter. All right, but he's got to literally move a mountain. That's crazy, right? That's crazy talk. Who the fuck's hey, could you move this mountain for me? That just doesn't happen. This is just really getting far away from reality. I don't know what to say about it at this point. So the prince began his labors, and he dug and shoveled without ceasing. On the 7th day, when he saw how little he had done, he became very sad and gave up all hope. In the evening, however, the fox appeared and said, "You do not deserve any help from me, but lie down and go to sleep. I will do the work." So now the fox is going to do the work? Dude, this guy has really done nothing good for the fox, and now the fox is volunteering to move a mountain for the guy. That's crazy. In the morning, when he woke and looked out of the window, the mountain had disappeared. So the fox did it. The fox is the only one here that's actually doing anything of worthwhile, anything of value. Overjoyed, the prince hurried to the king and told him that his condition was fulfilled, and whether he liked it or not, he must keep his word and give him his daughter. So the prince and the king's daughter went away together, and before long, the faithful fox joined them. So that's kind of weird. The fox is hanging out now with the prince. And I guess it's reasonable. It sounds like the fox is kind of bored, right? What does the fox really have going on in his life? He's just some fox hanging out in some forest. He does have a lot of wisdom, though. He's pretty wise. Usually clever is the adjective used to describe foxes, not wise, but maybe this is a clever fox. So they're all hanging out together. Let's see. And then the faithful fox joins them. "All right, you certainly have got the best thing of all," said he, "but the golden horse belongs to the maiden of the Golden Palace." "How am I to get it?" asked the prince. "Oh, I will tell you that," answered the fox. "First, take the beautiful maiden to the king who sent... Oh, I know where this is going. Who sent you to the Golden Palace. Do you guys all see where this is going? How good are you at pattern recognition? Everyone should know exactly where this is going to go from now on. All right. "There will be great joy when you appear, and they will bring out the golden horse to you. Mount it at once and shake hands with everybody, but last of all, with the beautiful maiden. And when you have taken her hand firmly, swing her up beside you and gallop away. No one will be able to catch you, for the horse goes faster than the wind. Ooh, all right. That's a pretty cool strategic play. You just got to make sure you don't get kicked by the horse like Rokohemda did earlier, right? Rokohemda, you're talking about getting beat up by a horse, right? All this was successfully done, and the prince carried off the beautiful maiden on the golden horse. Here we go. There's the prince. Can you all see that? Carrying the maiden off on the golden horse. The fox was not far off, and he said to the prince, "Now I will help you to get the golden bird too. When you approach the castle where the golden bird lives, let the maiden dismount, and I will take care of her. Then ride with the golden horse into the courtyard of the castle. There will be great rejoicing when they see you, and they will bring out the golden bird to you. As soon as you have the cage in your hand, gallop back to us and take up the maiden again." When these plans had succeeded, the prince was ready to ride on with all his treasures. The fox said to him, "Now you must reward me for my help." Yeah, okay. So the fox wasn't doing this out of the genuine kindness of his heart. He had some kind of ulterior motive. I mean, he is a fox, right? He's a clever fox. He's got something up his sleeve, right? The fox said, "If you won't do it, I must leave you. But before I go, I will give you one more piece of advice." Wait, no, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I missed a part. What do you want? What do you want? Asked the prince. "When you reach the wood, shoot me dead and cut off my head and my paws." This is fucking crazy. Dude, this fox is no joke. This is like a serious, like, self-destructive animal. Let me reread that part. "What do you want?" asked the prince. "When you reach the wood, shoot me dead and cut off my head and my paws?" Dude, what kind of fox is talking about that kind of stuff? That's craziness. Dude, like, this fox is like just wants him to kill him. This is really sad. "That would indeed be gratitude," said the prince. "I can't possibly promise to do such a thing." Yeah, I don't know if I could, right? I mean, this fox just went out of his way to help this guy. Now this guy wants to. I mean, what do you guys think about assisted suicide? I mean, in a situation like this, should he do this? Is it morally right to murder this fox? I mean, the fox wants to die. I don't know. I don't know what we say about this. The fox said, "If you won't do it, I must leave you. But before I go, I will give you one more piece of advice. Beware of two things. Buy no gallows birds, and don't sit on the edge of a well." After saying this, he ran off into the wood. All right, so it looks like the prince does not have to chop off the paws and head of the fox. So that's kind of good, at least. But let's see if he can heed his advice. The prince thought, "That is a strange animal. What whims he has. Who on earth would want to buy gallows birds? And the desire to sit on the edge of a well has never seized me." Yeah, right. I've never wanted to sit on the edge of a well. Well, actually, no. I kind of have. I take that back. He rode on with the beautiful maiden, and the road led him through the village where his two brothers had stayed behind. There was a great hubbub in the village, and when he asked what it was about, he was told that two persons were going to be hanged. When he got nearer, he saw that they were his brothers, who had wasted their possessions and done all sorts of evil deeds. Holy shit. Can you imagine that? You're like going through the forest and all of a sudden you're like your two brothers are ready to get hung? That's crazy. So he asked if they could be free. "Yes, if you'll ransom them," answered the people. "But why will you throw your money away in buying off such wicked people?" He did not stop to reflect, however, but paid the ransom for them, And when they were set free, they all journeyed on together. So he just saved his brothers. That's pretty awesome. He just completely just saved his brothers were gonna get hung, and he just saved him. Like this guy's like he's a good dude, right? They came to the wood where they had first met the fox. It was deliciously cool there. I like that, deliciously cool, though the sun was broiling outside. The two brothers said, "Let us sit down here by the well to rest a little and eat and drink." The prince agreed, and during the conversation, he forgot what he was about, and never dreaming of any foul play, seated himself on the edge of the well. But his two brothers threw him backwards into it and went home to their father, taking with them the maiden, the horse, and the bird. They got, dude, the brothers just killed him, and they took the golden horse, the maiden, the beautiful maiden, and the golden bird. This is craziness. This is what I'm kind of interested in. What happened to the golden cage though, and the golden saddle? Like, are those are still hanging up back there? Like, someone should go back for those. Okay, but anyways, let's see. Here we bring you not only the golden bird, but the golden horse and the maiden from the golden palace as our booty. Thereupon there was great rejoicing. But the horse would not eat, the bird would not sing, and the maiden sat and wept all day. Holy shit, this is really turning ugly. This is turning ugly pretty quickly. The youngest brother had not perished, however. Happily, the well was dry, and he fell upon soft moss without being harmed. Yet he could not get out. I don't know about that. I've never seen moss soft enough to like, you know, break your fall and, like, you know, be like fine. Like if you like have like a long fall down a well, that seems kind of weird to me. What do you guys think? Yet even in this great strait, the faithful fox did not forsake him, but came leaping down and scolded him for not taking his advice. "I can't leave you to your fate, though. I must help you to get back to the light of day." He told him to take tight hold of his tail, and then he dragged him up. "You are not out of every danger even now," said the fox. "Your brothers were not sure of your death, so they have set watches all over the wood to kill you if they see you." All right, one more page. Here we go. Final part. A poor old man was sitting by the roadside, and the prince exchanged clothes with him. And by this means, he succeeded in reaching the king's court. So no one recognized him because he was probably wearing the peasant's clothes. Literally, then the next thing says, "Nobody recognized him, but the bird began to sing, the horse began to eat, and the beautiful maiden left off crying." In astonishment, the king asked, "What does all this mean?" The maiden answered, "I do not know, but I was very sad, and now I am gay." I do not know, but I was very sad, and now I am gay. Oh, okay. This is an old book. It confused me for a second. This was written in like the 1800s, all right? So she's happy now. She was sad, and now she's happy. I thought something else was going on there for a second. "It seems to me that my true bridegroom must have come." She told the king all that had happened, although the two brothers had threatened her with death if she betrayed anything. So she divulges everything. I like that. The king ordered every person in the palace to be brought before him. Among them came the prince, disguised as an old man in all his rags. But the maiden knew him at once and fell on his neck. The wicked brothers were seized and put to death, but the prince was married to the beautiful maiden and proclaimed heir to the king. But what became of the poor fox? Yeah, I'm interested in what became of the poor fox too. Like, this fox has been doing all sorts of good stuff this whole time. Long afterwards, When the prince went out into the fields one day, he met the fox, who said, "You have everything that you can desire, but there is no end to my misery. It still lies in your power to release me." Holy shit! This fox just wants to die. Remember, he wanted him to cut off his head and cut off his paws. That's crazy. At last, the prince consented to do as he was asked. And no sooner was it done than the fox was changed into a man. So by cutting off the fox's head and chopping off his paws, it's actually a good thing. Well, but you know what? Okay, to be perfectly honest, the fox could have told him that initially. He could have been like, "Hey, look, if you cut off my head and chop off my paws, I'm going to turn into a man, and then I'm going to be free from this misery." Like, why didn't the fox just tell him? You know, like, this fox has been super clever this entire time. And then up to this point, like, he's just going to have this major blunder. It's like if you play a perfect game of chess and then you just fall for like a checkmate and one, like on move 40. Like, that's craziness, right? All right. He was turned into a man. He was no other than the brother of the beautiful princess, at last set free from the evil spell which so long had laid upon him. So someone put an evil spell on the princess's brother. Why did the princess ever mention to him that there was an evil spell on her brother? Like, you would think someone would have told the guy. There was nothing now wanting to their happiness for the rest of their lives. So they all lived happily ever after. At the end of the day, you just got to listen to the fox, and if he tells you to kill him, you chop off his head and cut off his paws, and then he turns into a man. All right, the end. We did it. That's Grimm's fairy tale number 2. The name of that one was, what the hell was the name of it? The Golden Bird. All right, we're going to get through all of Grimm's fairy tales. What do you guys think of that? What does everyone think of that? God, that was a lot. I missed so much. I missed so much. I can't catch up. Sorry, guys. All your side conversation is not going to be responded to. JT, you say, when you were a kid, your parents made you eat all kinds of shit. These days, you can no longer eat brain and fresh raw blood. You should get back into it, though. I mean, my grandmother ate brain. She was all about eating brain. I think my grandfather would eat. He would eat bone marrow. He would suck the marrow out of bones. I think that's like a pretty cool move, just to suck the marrow out of them. Let's see. Victor Sawyer, you say, good book. You remember reading it. Nice, yeah. Gilgamesh. You were responding to Rokhemda's Gilgamesh. Rokhemda, you say, yes, no brains, way too many prion diseases. Yeah. Prions and prions and viroids? There was another thing. So you got the virus, and then you have the prion that's it's like a less evolved form of a virus. And then there was another one. I can't remember the other one. There was another less evolved one, but whatever. I'll look it up sometime. They made a good comic of Gilgamesh that was really good. Oh, cool. Herbert Smithens, you say you don't understand the moral of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you come across a fox in the wild and he's like talking to you, first of all, you like that should raise some doubts like initially, right? You're not going to typically come across a fox that's like talking to you, but if he's giving you like advice and some of it sounds like pretty good, maybe take it. Maybe just listen to the fox's advice, and if things work out, I mean, continue to follow his advice. I still don't understand why the prince, why he followed the initial piece of advice from the fox, which was not to go into that inn that his two brothers had gone into, right? He followed that initial piece, but he didn't follow any of the other pieces of advice until later. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, why would he follow the fox initially, and then the fox confirms the fact that, hey, like, I'm doing some good shit here for you, man. I'm like, I'm helping you out. I'm gonna help you. And then like he's like, oh, I'm gonna stop listening to the fox, and I got to put the golden bird in the golden cage. I got to put the golden saddle on the golden horse and get thrown in jail twice. I got to fuck around, mess around by, letting the princess go talk to her parents and, get in trouble again. Like this, like, why would he do all that shit? It doesn't make any sense. Rokhemda, you say, marrow is delicious. I've never had it. I've never sucked the marrow out of bones, but my grandfather used to do that. He was a World War II hero. He did something really cool. This is a cool story. So my grandfather was in I think Germany or whatever, Nazi Germany, somewhere I forget where it was, but anyways, he was a scout, and he came across a Nazi camp at night. He found this Nazi camp, and everyone was like sleeping. I don't know where their scouts were. Whoever was supposed to be up, watching guard was like sleeping, and he was like watching these dudes. Right, they're all sleeping. And he got into a Nazi tank and just started fucking blowing everything up. He just started blowing up like people and like their vehicles and everything. And these Nazis were like, holy shit, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? They just woke up from a sleep and everything's in fire and getting blown up. So they all like laid down and like, and he's like, he had called for help, and then like help fucking came. He fucking took out 50 Nazis. 50 Nazis by himself. He got the Distinguished Silver Cross, which is the second highest award that you can possibly get as a war hero, right? That's crazy. Like, just to get into a tank and to start blowing up a bunch of people. Like, I mean, I don't know if I could do that, but these were Nazis, which are not really great people. All right, JT, you say the Buddhists at the temples around you eat meat and fish. Mostly Laos and Cambodian temples. Okay. Oh, Laos. Yeah, Laos and Cambodian temples. And they're not vegetarians. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. Victor, sir, you're 100% vegetarian. And I think Chad Guy is vegan. It's funny, a lot of people who are vegetarian and vegan tend to gravitate towards this chat. They come into this chat. Interesting. And then Rokemdu, you say, they find it funny how much people in the U.S. eat. Yeah, I mean, we do eat a lot. Victor, sir, you say, my grandfather's super... Dude, my grandfather was ridiculously hardcore. We're talking about my dad's dad. Both my grandfathers are awesome. My dad's dad, he was a fighter. He was... Okay, so he used to, in his older years, like when he was like in his 60s and 70s, he would sell stamps. He would go to these stamp conventions where, and he had like, thousands of stamps, collector stamps, and he would, set up a booth, and there'd be a bunch of booths set up, and he would just sell stamps to people, right? And one day some dude came in, and the guy was like maybe 25, 25, right? And he comes up to my grandfather, and he has like some rude shit to say to him, and he's like, insulting him and saying rude shit. He said that like he had sold him some stamps a while back, and like one of them wasn't what he said or something like that. And it was a total bogus charge, because my grandfather was not even at the event that the guy was claiming he was at. He said that he was like at some weird convention in like Austin or something like that. And like my grandfather has never even been to Austin. So my grandfather's like, no, you got me mistaken for someone else. And the guy's like, no, it was you. Fuck you. You sold me this shit. So my grandfather, he's 70 years old at the time. He jumps across the table. So he's literally like knocking over all of his stamps and the entire table, and he grabs the guy. He grabs the 22-year-old or 25-year-old dude by the neck. He's 70, and he chokes him out. He fucking chokes him. He chokes him out till he goes unconscious. Like, dude, at 70 years old, he's doing that? That's fucking crazy. This guy was a fighter till the day he died. He was like, that's serious. I don't know many 70-year-olds that can take out like 25-year-old, strong males. Like, he just went nuts. He just went immediately for the throat and just fucking took him out. I'm surprised he didn't get the cops called on him, right? That's like, it's a crazy thing, right? Like, but I guess they figure because he's so old, like if you see a really old dude, you're going to be like, and you're like, yeah, that guy assaulted me. Like, I don't know, man. It's probably not going to look good. Let's see. Victor, so you say your grandfather sounds. He was super hardcore. He's passed away now, but he was one of the most badass people I've ever met. I mean, this guy, he would have been a professional football player, but he had a knee injury. He was the running back, and in his high school was, I think, Niles West, and they actually would play their championship game at the Bear Stadium, right, at Soldiers Field. It was crazy, right? That's how they did it back then. Like, high school football was like really crazy, right? And then he was like the top pick, and everything was going to be awesome. And then he got some fucked up knee injury, and he just went into the war and ended up killing a bunch of Nazis. All right. Let's see, Herbert. You say stamps are the reason behind a lot of the world's violence. Yeah, right? Think about how much violence ensued because of stamps, right? You never would have thought that something as innocuous as a stamp could trigger an explosion like that, right? And real quick, you say the muscles are the last thing to go. Yeah, he was strong. He was always strong, even when he was old. Like, I mean, he wasn't walking great. You know, he would be walking slow and everything. But he would get, every once in a while, he would get this look in his eye. And when he'd get this look in his eye, you wouldn't want to fuck with this man. Like, it was just that look that, like, hey, something's gonna happen and it's gonna be devastating. And like, I don't want to have any part in this. I just want to fucking get away. I want to get away and like let whatever's gonna happen, and then, like, you know, pick up the pieces later. Victor, so you say, yeah, the cops are like, respect. Yeah, right? I mean, they're like, dude, you're like 70, you're like old and decrepit and 70, and you just choked out like a strong 25-year-old dude. Like, that's intense. I've never seen anything like that happen anywhere else, right? Victor, so you say your grandfather was a one-man stampede. Perfect. Yeah, he kind of was. What can we say, dude? His grandpa had a whole bunch of Lugers for a reason. Yeah, my grandfather, and that was the cool thing back then. Like, back in the day, if you were in a war, you were able to take souvenirs. So he took a bunch of Nazi guns. He had a bunch of Nazi flags. He had a Nazi uniform. He had all this old this World War II memorabilia that he was able to take off these Nazis that he killed. Right. It was intense. He got shot 3 times. When he was in the war, but he survived them all. I think I know one time he got shot in the ass. That's actually a pretty decent place to get shot if you're going to get shot, right? Get shot in the butt, right? And then I don't remember where he got shot the other 2 times, but you know, it sucked. He said it sucked, but it was, you know, he got through it. And he kept wanting to go back out. He was like super motivated. He like really wanted to go out there and like fight for his country, you know, and like not just the country, the world. I mean, Hitler was no joke. That was a serious threat. So he wanted to go out there and kill as many of Hitler's men as possible. Oh man. All right. Where the fuck are we at here? It's been 3 hours. I've been going nonstop. It's been 3 hours. All right. Let's do a game of chess. I want to get one game of chess in. I've done Puzzle Rush, but I haven't actually played a game of chess. So I'm going to play on Elite Chess, and I'm playing a random opponent. So I don't know. This guy could be a grandmaster. He could be a complete noob. We will see how good this guy is. And those of you who don't know, I am a chess instructor IRL. That's what I do for a living. That's my job. So I like to teach chess and stream chess on Twitch. Okay, we're good here. Everything looks good here. Let's play this game. Let's do it. Create game. Standard controls, 10 minutes. All right, here we go. Sicilian. All right, this guy's going in for this. Hyper accelerated dragon variation. That is a mistake, I think. I don't know what... I believe he meant to bring the queen out to... I don't know. This guy's got some weird opening line that I've never seen. I don't know about it. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced about this opening line, but maybe it's good. Maybe it's just something I don't know about, which is definitely possible. All right. If he pushes, I can win the pawn with that. But all right, so this is like a closed variation on Sicilian. If the pawn comes out to d4, it's the open variation. This is closed. So I got to think, do I want to trade my knight for this light square bishop? I think I want to. This bishop is a really strong piece. So I'm saying, all right, get out of here. Get out of here, bishop. You're gonna get traded. I'm gonna force a trade. Yeah, I'm taking. He'll recapture. All right, now we're simply gonna castle. I'm castled. Got development in. I got to get this light square bishop developed. All right, so now what do we do here? I'm looking at queen out. I'm looking at take. Oops, take. I don't want to take because then the knight's going to hop in. I could just support it. I think this makes sense. Yeah, I'm just going to support it, and then take. I can take with the pawn, and now my light square bishop is ready to come out and exert some force. This is actually a really tough game. This guy's good. He's a legit contender. He's a legit player. I mean, I want to pin him with the bishop, but he can always just challenge it right away, and then I got to retreat. Huh. My queen needs to get active. All right. This queen's got to get active. And I'm also honing in on this undefended pawn right here. This is looking a little bit better with my queen on b6. Okay. So hold on. Take. Wait. Bishop over. Take. When the pawn or the queen could take. And the queen. I think everything's gonna get covered. Wait, hold on. Maybe not. I think this bishop needs to come out though. Let's just do this. Let's just play this. I don't know if this is right. I don't know if this is right. It feels right though. All right, so take. If he captures with the knight, I'm eyeing this pawn and then trying to get some pressure on the queen side. Take. If he captures with the queen, then I take here, and then he takes, and I take. I think that works, right? So take. My intuition is saying good things about this move. All right, so now he took with the queen, so now I take here. Unless I'm missing something tactically. If he recaptures, I take. Yeah, look at this. Now this is an important pawn that I'm picking up. This is a very powerful pawn that I just won. It's a center pawn. A lot of people don't know this. Center pawns are stronger than like wing pawns and other pawns. And look, he's got double isolated pawns over here. All right, so now he's creating some threats, which is understandable. I'm just going to simply back up. I'm backing up, and I'm exerting pressure here, restricting the movement of the knight. Well, the queen's also covering, but still, you know, it's a decent spot for this queen. I got to get my rooks active. My queen's also helping defend this pawn right here on a7. All right. Now, what do we got? What's the idea with this move? Don't understand the idea here. Let's get this, let's get my rooks active. I don't know about moving this rook. I think I should have moved the other rook over. All right, so he's just moving now. Let's come up here. This looks kind of like a... How's he going to get rid of this rook anytime soon? I'm preparing to double up. And exert a lot of pressure. Oh shit! Oh shit! All right, I didn't catch that, but I can take over here now. Am I falling? Oh, I can't take because of the queen's thing. So that's the idea. That's what I missed here. The rook and the pawn. All right, I want to go after this queen because it's the only defender over here. But let's see. Is there anything else? I think he's gonna trap. I think he's just got my my piece trapped. All right, this is bad. This is not great. Is there anything I can do here? Let's go in for this. No, hold on. I want to keep pressure. Yeah, this looks good. All right, he just made a huge fucking mistake. Does everyone see it? Does everyone see his huge mistake? Bam. Look at that. Check. Rook's protecting the queen. He's got one move. Checkmate. Game over. Whew. That was that worked out beautifully. That worked out beautifully. Good game. All right. He was good. He was no joke. Let's go to the analysis board real quick. He was a legit player. He just didn't see that tactic at the end.
Let's check it out. This is all standard. Yeah. So yeah, I have a little. I knew getting that bishop was going to be good. I'm up 0.4 right here. For black to be up at this point is good. I knew that was going to be good for me to make that trade, right? So they wanted me to take the pawn here. All right. I mean, my move is second best. That's fine. It likes the queen move. It says that's okay, right? It doesn't like the bishop move. It says it's fine. It's not. White has a very, very... Now it's even. It's even. All right. Take. Yeah, now I take. Now I have a huge advantage, right? Now he takes. And now I take. Yeah, so I'm up 3.2 right at this point. All right, well, whatever. I went to... It wants... That's really weird. That's really weird. So this idea right here of playing B5 is very... That's not really a human move, right? When someone's putting their rook in line with your queen, you're not thinking about playing B5. That's like a computer move. But, you know, whatever. I just go back. It's not best. It wants my queen on E5, but whatever. Okay, so we got this. I'm still mauling, right? Yeah. Oh, I did move the right rook. Cool. All right, I moved the right rook over. That's good. I was concerned that I didn't move the right rook over, but I actually did move the right rook. All right. All right. What does it think of this move? Yeah, it doesn't like this move. And yeah, this is the best. Oh, the second best move for white. The knight move, right? And then this. And look at this. This is a blunder. This is a big mistake right here. So I fucked up there. All right. I needed to be a little more precise there. Yeah, white's actually got a 1.4 point advantage at this point. Yeah, but then he just blundered. He just blundered it all away at that point. So like look at that. That's funny. I was winning this whole game, and then you know, this whole game I'm winning, and then like he finally gets an advantage, and he just doesn't capitalize on it. Oh yeah, he could have played that bishop move. That would have been interesting too. Wait, the knight move would have been better, yeah. And then there's mate. Cool. All right, you guys got to see a very exciting, thrilling game. That was a thrilling game. That was a pretty awesome one. Okay, let's see. Rokahamda, you said we should do a Dominion game. We could play Dominion, but I've been streaming for 3 hours and 21 minutes. I mean, it is like 1 a.m. almost Chicago time. I don't know. Do you feel like doing one now? Is that what you're saying? I got to stand up too. I don't like sitting down. I'm looking into getting those risers. I'm looking in getting a riser. And I got these pants on and I can't turn around because they're all ripped up. They're all ripped up and back. It's kind of weird, to be honest. All right. Let's see. Victor, so you say, when are we going to play 4-person chess? If not, could I give you a 4-person chess clip? Yeah, share the clip, Victor Soar. Either you can post in Discord and you can post it in chat. I have everything enabled, so you should be able to post everything in chat. However, you say, is taking life immoral if we are one? I mean, my personal belief is you shouldn't hurt another human being, because that would be the equivalent of hurting yourself. So in my ontology, every single person is all part of the same being. We're all part of the same oneness. And so if you ever attack another human being, like if you like shoot someone or stab someone, you're literally doing that same thing to yourself. You're attacking yourself. So you want to be kind and loving and caring to the people around you, because that's what you deserve. You deserve people being kind and loving and caring to you. And I believe that karma does. There's a lot of factors that do manifest within this dualistic framework, such as like I think karma does tend to play out over the course of a long term, right? I think there's a lot of things that tend to work out, a lot of principles. But it's just we don't have enough data. We don't have enough data to be able to know for certain, right? We can't. And then even the data we have, I mean, if we're not seeing a few key concepts that the data is based upon, if we're not understanding those concepts, then we're not even gonna be able to understand the data, and our analysis will be worthless. All right, I think this is a good time to call it a day. I've been streaming 3 hours and 21 minutes. Rokohemda and I will get on here and do some Dominion at some point. I played one game of Dominion on here, Rokohemda, I think at one point. But yeah, you seem like you've disappeared into the abyss. So we're gonna, we'll do that some other time. Let's see who's currently streaming. Let's see. We got Soma Green is streaming. Wait, hey, no, I know who we're gonna stream. I know exactly who we're gonna raid. All right, this will be good. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. One of our new friends. One of our new friends. One of our new friends of the chat is streaming right now. This is awesome. Taylor Jade. Taylor Jade is actually streaming. I didn't know she was a streamer, so we are going to raid her. She's a cool person. Really just a good, awesome human being. I believe she just recently got married, or she's currently engaged. Her fiance, JT, what was his name? I always forget his name. It was something like dead again, or dead, something, I don't know. Something with dead. But he's a cool dude. He's been hanging out here. He's a chess player. He's a chess guy. They're great people. They hang out in they're friends with Imbalanced. One of my buddies on Twitch, and they also hang out in other people and other fitness and health streamers stuff. And Taylor Jade, she is an Olympic volleyball player. She's amazing. She was a junior Olympic volleyball player, and I think she's competing right now and trying out for the actual the legit Olympics. Like, how amazing would that be? We're hanging out with this person. She's an Olympic athlete, right? So she's playing some Halo right now. So we're gonna go raid her. She's only got 6 people in chat too, so this will be like a huge boost for her. There she is. All right, we're gonna raid Taylor Jade. All right, so thank you all so much. Copy and paste that raid call. Herbert Smithens, JT Farms, Victor Soar, Roko Hemda. I love Evelyn. Anyone who's still here. Noger. I love you all unconditionally. I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste. I hope you guys all got something out of the meditation. And yeah, peace be with you. I'll see you guys around. I love you all unconditionally.